partners in crime, Joe Brennan, and our sideline reporter, Evan Gates. Joe, this Lynchburg team split 50-50 this weekend. They got a sweep on Saturday and then got swept on Sunday. What's the key situation that they have to come into today?
I think the biggest thing is just coming out and playing with confidence. You have a Lynchburg team. It's hit a little bit of a cold spell, if you will, and granted it's because the competition's gotten a heck of a lot stronger. Last time we were out here on Moon, I mean, we've seen Randolph-Macon, we've seen Virginia Wesleyan, we've seen Salisbury and Virginia Wesleyan, two top 25 teams that came in here, and you saw Lynchburg give them a tough battle in a handful of those contests. Granted, they couldn't really come out with a win, but you've got a great chance today with a very talented Guilford squad that's a great hitting unit, so we're going to see what Lynchburg can do in the circle to really try and slow them down.
It's a little bit of a gloomy day in the Hill City. Temperatures aren't too bad, very, very cloudy in the air, and like you said, the confidence has to be there for the University of Lynchburg, and I think they're going to have it today. I know they were definitely not happy with the results on Sunday, as everyone should be not happy with those results, but it's going to be a fantastic matchup. And we talk about how they've been playing such great teams lately, but really when you go around the ODAC, there's no soft team that you're going to go up against. Everybody either plays up to competition or plays down to competition. It's always going to be a great matchup when you've got ODAC softball going on, and I think with Guilford coming into this game today, they also have as much confidence as this Lynchburg squad does. And right now, we've got our sideline reporter, Evan Gates, to talk about the history between the two teams. So we'll go right to you, Evan Gates.
Let's give Evan a second to get situated.
A little bit of some technical difficulties trying to get this going. And we're going to go to Evan now, I believe. Some troubles going on. We're trying to get it figured out. We'll get something going later on. We definitely have Evan Gates on the sideline ready for the future, but we've got the national anthem coming right up for both squads. We'll get the lineups and the beautiful anthem, and then two games on this gloomy doubleheader day for the University of Lynchburg and Guilford. And we'll be right back on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network in just one moment. Hello and welcome back to Moonfield. We are joined by our very own Evan Gates on the sideline. Go ahead, Evan.
Virginia, number 19, Kaylee Hackett. Well, 20 games down for this Lynchburg softball team, 11-9 thus far. But in 5 of those losses for the Hornets, they've been by just 1 run. 2 games this weekend that qualify us into the discussion against Shenandoah. They conceded in the 6th in Game 1 and extra innings in Game 2. So you understand the Hornets want to get some revenge. It's a matchup between the 4th and 6th ranked teams in the preseason polls of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. So a lot on the line, and you understand here at Moonfield, it feels like that time of the season where things are starting to heat up. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Evan. We're so happy that we were able to get you. But as the national anthem is set to commence, we're going to take just a short break, and then we'll be right back to you in just a moment here on Aubrey Moon Field on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Welcome back to Aubrey Moon Field. I am Ethan Morotsky, joined by Joe Brennan and Evan Gates, and we'll just jump right into it and hop into the Guilford lineup. Leading off, we've got Olivia Shelton, followed by Riley Murish, Shiloh Gray, Calissa Williams, Casey Johnson, Chloe Stoner, Kendall Boggs, Corinne McCutcheon, Alyssa Daniel, and Kelsey Bowie at that 10 spot playing in infield. On the mound for the Hornets today, we've got the 2024 first team All-ODAC and second team All-State. Kaylee Dorse is one of the most dominant pitchers really in the country so far this year. She's got fantastic numbers all around, Joe.
Yeah, she's really been fantastic, and the one thing that really sticks out is the punch-outs. She comes into this ball game being top 10 in the conference for ERA and 184, but I mean the strikeouts have really stuck out this season. 58 total punch-outs, only 13 walks with it as well. She's someone that really pounds the zone, and against a team like Guilford, that's going to be extremely valuable.
Pitching is what they take pride in on this squad, as Kaylee Dorse is down 2-0 in the count against Shelton. Doubleheader softball today. We're always excited to get both games underway. 2-0 pitch fired in, finds that inside corner for strike one, and Dorse is up and running.
I mean, if you're looking at this Guilford squad in just terms of, minimum 20 at-bats, they've got 8 players hitting 300 or better. This is a really quality team in terms of when they step at the dish. The only reason why they're not a real perennial powerhouse in the conference this season has been defensive issues, mainly in the field. They've had a whole lot of errors this season.
Both these squads dealing with issues out on the field. We've got a couple changes, and we'll go over the Lynchburg fielding. We've got behind the dish Carly Hudnall from left to right on the infield. Kaylee Hackett playing third base. Sarah Watts at shortstop. Layla Leetzen at second base. Madison Barnes at first. 2-2 pitch in the dirt for ball 3. We'll have a full count. They're going to check and see if she went, and she didn't. In the outfield, we've got Alyssa Talley-Yumptua in left field, Lexi Powell in center field, and Zoe Elliott in right field.
Yeah, it's good to see that combo of Elliott and Powell in the outfield. Obviously, no Bree Hodges for a little bit.
That ball hits off of Dorse, is picked up by Hackett. Can't get a throw in time, so it'll be a single for Shelton to lead off the game.
Yeah, just a little bit slow right there from Hackett. Again, someone that's really getting used to playing at the hot corner, and it was a good heads-up play to pick it up off the ricochet, but you saw her maybe do a little bit of a pump and a hesitation right there. That's when you got to get out of the glove quick, just to try and beat the runner. Can't do it right there. Nevertheless, a good pickup right there from Hackett.
That'll bring up Murish, the third baseman. Runner takes off for second, throw from Hudnall in time, and they're going to call her out at second. Beautiful throw from Carly Hudnall and a great tag by Sarah Watts.
Well, that's one way to take the momentum right back. And it's so interesting to see Watts play at the 6. I mean, we're so used to seeing her over on second base, but it feels like no matter where you put her, you're going to find success.
With some incredible defense from Layla Leetzen this weekend, she's found herself in the starting lineup again today against Guilford. One and one count against Murish. Repping the 00 on the back of her jersey today.
I like the 00s.
Yeah, I like that number.
Can you think of any famous athletes that rock 00s?
I feel like I should be able to, but I can't. You might have to incite me on some of that.
I just remember Spencer Hawes. He wasn't a very notable guy, but that was way back in the early 2000s.
1-2 count from Dorses outside for ball 2. .50-50 weekend for these Hornets. Swept on Saturday and then got swept on Sunday. Looking to try and flip the script here. 2-2 pitch popped up. Hudnall ranging over, can't make the play, and we'll do 2-2 again. Looked like it was in a little bit of no man's land between Hudnall, Hackett, and Dorses over in that foul territory.
We've seen her make plays like that all season long. It always looks a heck of a lot easier than it actually is to track it down and bring it in underhand like that.
2-2 pitch foul the way to the right side. So we'll do 2-2 again. We've got one out. Shelton thrown out at second, caught stealing from Carly Hudnall behind the plate. 2-2 pitch popped up in the air. Hudnall is just going to let it go foul. I think that's a good move from the catcher behind the dish. She got a lot of speed at the plate. That ball was kind of popped up into the air, and the backspin just helped it roll foul. And we'll do 2-2 once again.
And I was surprised they sent Shelton so early in the game. That's someone that hasn't recorded a stolen base all season long. That was her first attempt on the year. Obviously trying to catch the Hornets off guard.
2-2 count from Dorses. Popped up again. Watts calling off Leetzen, and she's going to make the out for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up number 33, Shiloh Gray. Last year, 2024 All-ODAC third-team pitcher. And she's at the plate today.
Now batting number 33,
you know, we've seen a whole lot of players in the ODAC that can do it both ways. That's always something special when you can get somebody that's not only just a talented arm, but can drive it out of the park as well.
Coming into today, Gray, her career batting average, .329, which is always very impressive, as that one just misses the corner. But for this season, she's hitting .375 on 18 starts and 19 appearances. Impressive hitting stats from the 3 spot. That one popped up to the right side, heading foul Barnes ranging over, can't make the play. And another opportunity for Gray.
That's one you probably wish you could have back. I mean, that was right off the glove.
High for ball 2. It'll even up the count, and we've got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Dorses gets the sign, winds, fires in, popped up into right center field. Lexi Powell calling off. Lexi Powell calls off Zoe Elliott for out number 3. And no runs on what I would assume would be a hit from Shelton. And a caught stealing at second base. Good throw from Carly Hudnall. We're going to head to the bottom of the first, the home half of the inning, with Hornets having an opportunity to take the lead early in this one. We'll take a short break here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Welcome back to Aubrey Moon Field. Home half of the first inning going to be led off by Lexi Powell, followed by Sarah Watson, Kaylee Hackett. That'll be your 1, 2, 3 to start off this game for the Hornets, followed by Alyssa Taliumptua, Madison Barnes, Carly Hudnall, Anna Grace Terrell, Zoe Elliott, and Layla Leetzen. Lexi Powell leading off for the Hornets. First pitch catches the corner. We talked about Shiloh Gray and how well she's doing at the plate. Her ERA coming into this matchup, just 4.67, 3 wins and 4 losses on 10 appearances on the mound. This is the corner to even up the count at 1-1. She got 10 appearances on the mound for the Quakers, 8 starts, and she's done 5 complete games. So some good numbers from Gray. That one also misses the corner.
And I'm excited to see what Powell can do right here. She's someone that started the season off to such a strong note. It's kind of slowed down just a tad in the last couple of games, but about a week ago, she was hitting well over 500.
Lexi Powell has been a powerhouse in this lineup, and she finds herself up in the count 3-1. We know this Lynchburg team likes to drive counts deep. A lot of walks against the Quakers. That one is high for ball 4, so it'll be a leadoff walk for Lexi Powell, and that brings up in Sarah Watts. Go back to that first game against the Eastern Mennonite Royals on Saturday, and she hit a full count home run to deep left center field that tied up the game in the first inning.
Yeah, Watts has really been a strong hitter so far this season. Just over 20 hits on the year, 9 of which have gone for extra bases, and she's done it in a lot of different ways, whether it's going out of the park or showing off the wheels with triples. And obviously we know that she can round first and head to second with a full head of steam. Someone that really gives you all 5 tools. Certainly a big-time weapon for this Lynchburg lineup.
You got a speedy Lexi Powell on first base, always prone to take second any pitch. 0-2 count on Watts outside. A back pick to first base, not in time. Lexi Powell gets back to the bag. Powell with 7 stolen bases so far this season. Might be thinking to take number 8 as she is ready on first base. 1-2 pitch onto Watts. Fouls that one to the right side. Good fight from Sarah Watts. Taking advantage of leadoff walks is what's going to be so important in any matchup. That's what the Hornets did so well on Saturday in both matchups against the Royals. 1-2 count. Popped up right side of the infield, and it'll be caught by Williams at first base, and it'll be the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that's just a routine play for Williams. Watch just couldn't get a whole piece of that one. Shallow pop-up. Nevertheless, if you're the Hornets, you're still in a pretty good spot here with a runner on first and one away with a strong hitter in Hackett.
Hackett's been doing so well for this lineup lately. Hit that walk-off as she puts the bunt down. It's going to go foul. But go back to the first game against the Royals. She hit a walk-off on a 2-for-2 day with 2 walks. So every single at-bat in that first game, she got on.
Yeah, she really did have a strong performance. Really stood out. Was a lot of help that Lynchburg needed. It was her and Taliumptua that had a really good day.
That one foul to the right side. And even on Sunday, Kaylee Hackett, 2 hits and 5 at-bats against Shenandoah. So she's continuing her hot streak, hopefully into today. So 1 out with 2 strikes already on Hackett. 0-2 pitch outside. Lexi Powell takes off her second, caught by the pitcher. So it'll be a stolen base for Lexi Powell.
And I don't know if Bowie was trying to send that one right back to the circle or trying to get it to Stoner over at second. Nevertheless, Powell will take it. She's got some quick feet on her.
Stolen base number 8 for Lexi Powell. It almost kind of looked like a delayed steal, possibly maybe catching the defense napping.
I mean, but that toss had some zip on it. I mean, you
did.
just saw right there.
Yeah.
That was more of a casual throw right back to the circle. I think Gray was just trying to back it up. I'm not sure, but either way, Lexi will take it.
2-2 count on Kaylee Hackett with a runner in scoring position now. Outside for ball 3. Good eye by Hackett.
Yeah, great patience here to work yourself back into the count.
Full count for Kaylee Hackett. 1 out. Lexi Powell on second base. Just 120 feet away from taking the lead. Inside, that one hit into deep left. It'll be caught. Powell gonna fake going to third, and she'll trot back into second base.
Yeah, just a routine can of corn out there to left. You got some juice behind it, but you don't really have the wind working in your favor to start off this afternoon. That wind's pushing back into the ballpark to the right side of the field, so exactly the opposite of what you need for a little bit of an extra boost. Nevertheless, good contact and a smart move from Powell to stay in scoring position, not risk retiring the inning, being thrown out at third.
Unwritten rule to make that third out at third base, actually. So I really like that comment that you made.
Thanks, man.
As Alyssa Taliumptua now steps up in the southpaw batter's box. Watches that one just miss the corner for ball 2. Taliumptua 2 hits against Shenandoah in that second game. As that one lifted into deep left center, it's going to get down into the wall. Lexi Powell's going to score easily, and Taliumptua's going to have herself an RBI stand-up double. Beautiful swing from Alyssa Taliumptua to be able to drive that one into the opposite field. Hit too hard for McCutcheon to be able to make a play.
And that's why you don't want to risk the out at third. You still stay in scoring position. Taliumptua finds good wood. Deep left center field. And you know one thing I noticed the other day that I think is so fascinating is if we look at the outfield, it's tough to see from this standpoint, but you got that little brown spot where people are so used to standing. So you get a good feel of whether they're playing it forward, whether they're playing it back, because you can see all the way from the dish, whereas it might be more difficult to have that depth perception. And right there, they're creeping up just a little bit, pounds it all the way back to the gravel. And it's a beautiful, beautiful hit to draw on a run and score here early in the first.
Barnes ground out to the pitcher will be the third out of the inning, but not before the Hornets can take a quick lead in the bottom half of the first on 1 hit. Scoring 1 run will Head to the second inning here. Guilford gonna have some work to do early. We'll be right back on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
End of game, I think we're going to have them on the Lynchburg side. Raise the roof, yeah. He'll zoom in. I hope so. Yeah, I already talked to Coach for you. You can talk to Coach after. Yeah.
Throw down to second base. Warm-ups are over, and we head to the top of the second. Guilford Quakers going to have some work to do. They'll be led off by Calissa Williams, followed by Casey Johnson and Chloe Stoner.
3 up, 3 down in the opening frame for the Quakers. I mean, they got on base to lead things off, which is a great way to start the frame, but caught stealing. Olivia Shelton was retired. And then back-to-back flyouts. Perfect start for Dorses, but if you're Guilford, you like the barrels to heat up a little bit on this gloomy afternoon.
Foul ball off the leg of Williams. Make it an 0-1 count. That's what's been so important for Kaylee Dorses and this pitching staff, is getting those first pitch strikes. As that one's fouled back. But being able to get up in the count so early allows you to go to pretty much every single pitch in your arsenal that you want.
Well, you bring up Calissa Williams, who's really been a great bat this year. Obviously provides a little bit of power and extra juice to this Quaker lineup.
Dorses just misses that outside corner, but a good eye from Williams. 1-2 count. Dorses pulls the string and catches Williams napping. It'll be a strikeout for Dorses, her first one of the afternoon.
Well, we've been talking about the power of the strikeout for Dorses this season, and you see why right there. It's not just the fastball. It's the off-speed pitches. She can catch you with that rise and really speed up your tempo. And as you just said, then just pulls the string on you. Whether it's a screwball, whether it's a changeup, she's got a whole lot in her bag that she can throw at you. And right there, gets the best of Williams for out number 1.
Well, that'll bring up the DP, Casey Johnson. She fouls that one back, and Dorses finds herself in another favorable 0-2 count.
That's another thing that really, really separates her from a lot of pitchers in this conference, is just her ability to get up in counts, and she could play with you a little bit. Try and paint those outside edges right there.
Good 0-2 pitch from Dorses, misses that corner, but you don't want to give the hitter anything too pretty to hit, especially with 2 strikes.
And I think she goes back to a similar location here. Maybe not the same pitch, but similar spot.
Called it right there,
yeah,
Joe.
I'm telling you, man.
Magician. 2-2 count on Johnson. You can see Dorses trying to paint that outside corner.
Now you go for the strike. Oof.
Good swing from Johnson. Zoe Elliott can't make the play. Throw to first. Not in time. It's going to get by Barnes. But a good backup from Carly Hudnall. So it'll be a base hit for Casey Johnson with 1 out.
And, you know, I actually really like the play made by Elliott right there, because you can be overly aggressive a lot of times, especially early in games like this, where you want to make that diving catch. But with nobody to back you up, I mean, that can turn into a triple real quick.
Triple or some more. We've seen some inside the park home runs on Aubrey Moon Field the last couple years. So I agree with you. I really like that decision from Zoe Elliott to not dive and potentially miss that ball.
Nevertheless, a great piece of hitting right there from Johnson as well. We've been talking a whole lot about this team's batting average and what they do so strong, but Casey Johnson, as this one's popped up sky high.
Caught by Lexi Powell for the second out of the inning. And I completely agree with you. With 2 strikes, it's a lot harder to hit in any count. But when you're down 2 strikes, makes it even that much harder. So a good piece of protective hitting from Casey Johnson. So that pop-up will bring up Kendall Boggs. Dorsey just misses the corner for ball 1. 2 outs with a runner on first. Dorsey fires, swung on and missed for strike 1. There's that velocity that we really like to talk about from Kaylee Dorsey.
Yeah, I mean, she can get it high 60s, which you don't see every day. You see the Tennessee pitcher last week? We talk about that when I wasn't here.
Yeah, I talked about it on Saturday. That's some impressive stuff.
78.2, fastest recorded pitch in NCAA softball history. I mean, that's got some juice behind it. 78. And in regular baseball, you need a reaction time of like a 106, 110 mile an hour fastball.
Less than a blink of an eye. I'd like to go up and face her, even knowing that I would get out, but I just want to know what it would look like.
You'd get embarrassed, my man.
2-2 count. 2 outs. That one just misses the corner. It'll be a full count. Runners are going to be moving. Some impressive things going on around Division I softball 2 and 3. As that one catches the inside corner for another strikeout from Dorsey. That'll be 2 on the day so far for KD. As we head to the bottom half of the second, for the Hornets, going to try and extend their lead. 1 hit for the Quakers, 1 runner stranded. We'll be right back on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Bottom of the second, action set to commence. Will be led off by Carly Hudnall, followed by Anna Grace Terrell and Zoe Elliott in right field. So 2 good innings from Kaylee Dorsey. She's found herself 2 backwards Ks. And now she's given her Hornets another chance to get at least a run as Huddy shows bunt. Catches the corner as she pulls back, so it'll be strike 1. Carly Hudnall, towards the beginning of the season, found herself in that 9 spot, that second leadoff, but last weekend, including Sunday and today, she's found herself hitting right after Madison Barnes, and now she's down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, we've seen this batting order move around a little bit as the year's gone along. You're just kind of figuring out, who's playing well, who's not. That's a big thing. Oftentimes you're going to be on a little bit of a hot streak and you're going to bump up in that order, and other times somebody else is going to be on a hot streak. And, Kaylee Hackett's been someone that, wasn't traditionally at the top of the order to begin the year, and now she finds herself hitting the 3-hole.
Layla Leetson, another one that comes to mind. She hasn't found herself in the lineup too often this year, but now she's been playing the last couple games, and she's still out at second base.
And she's played really, really well when she's been at the dishes. There's a nice knock from Huddy.
Beautiful swing from Carly Hudnall, the slap hitter into left field as she leads off this home half of the second with a single, and that'll bring up the DP, Anna Grace Terrell.
And that's got to feel good if you're Huddy. Only 1 base knock in your last 6 at-bats. And if we go back towards the middle of the year, going from that Marymount game at the Triangle Classic, it kind of started a little bit of a cold spell for her where she went 0 for 2, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 2, 0 for 1. And then she got back on track in one of those Virginia Wesleyan games where she had a really, really strong performance with a run and a ribby and 2 base knocks. So she's starting to find her groove once again, and off to a strong start here today.
Anna Grace Terrell shows bunt and fouls it off to the left side. Huddy was moving on that pitch.
And AG, someone that's in a similar spot as Carly was a couple of weeks ago, where at the beginning of the year, she was on fire. I mean, had 4 hits in their first 3 games. She was the go-to designated player. But she's the one that hasn't recorded a base knock since that Marymount game as well, going all the way back to March 3rd.
It'll be a stolen base for. Oh, she looks like Carly Hudnall might have left early.
Yeah.
And so it'll be a free out for the Quakers, and Anna Grace Terrell's got some work to do to try and lead off the inning again.
So 1 out on the board. That's a tough break to catch.
Gray just misses that corner. It'll be a 2-1 count on AG. Tough break. It's pretty similar to what happened with Guilford in that first inning with Shelton leading off the game in the inning with a single and then getting caught stealing from Carly Hudnall. As that one finds the corner, it'll be a 2-2 count on Anna Grace Terrell. Gray winds, fires outside, just missing that corner. I really like the attention to detail from this umpire. He just kind of sticks that landing when that ball comes in. So 3-2 count, full count on AG. Gray fires, one laced right back up the middle. Beautiful swing from Anna Grace Terrell.
It seems like they've got their swagger back.
I really like that saying. If you, it just reminds me of the football video.
I think I got my swagger back.
Yeah, I can't remember what team that is. It's
that was a little high school clip.
That's a good way of putting it too. I really like that. Is we're gonna get a pinch runner, excuse me, as Alex Love will head over to first base. Anna Grace Terrell will talk to her right fielder Zoe Elliott about what she was seeing at the plate. And that's something that I love. Every single batter in this lineup, no matter whether you get a hit or if you get a pop-up or a ground out, they're always going to talk to their next hitters and get them more prepared for their at-bat. So the right fielder, Zoe Elliott, will step up to the plate with a runner on first now. First pitch outside for ball 1.
And granted, it's still only a 1-0 ball game. And we're in the bottom of the second of the first game today. But this Lynchburg team feels like they've got a whole new level of confidence, which is great to see. Because a lot of times you can go on a little bit of a cold spell in the beginning or middle part of your schedule, and that can really, really throw things off for a while. But if you can dig yourself out of that hole real quick and get right back on that horse, it can really change the season's perspective. Because this is a team that came into the preseason poll, as our man Evan Gates said at the top of the broadcast, at 4th. That's well within striking distance of not only just a semifinal, but making a championship run. And granted, you're going to have to get behind the Valwezes, the Randolph-Macons, but the way this team was playing at the beginning of the year, there's no doubt that they can make some noise. I mean, this is not a squad you want to run into in the quarter semifinal round.
Talk about cold streaks in the beginning of the season or the middle of the season. You'd rather have them at that point than the end of the season going into the postseason. So I think confidence is going to be so key for this squad as Zoe Elliott pops it back up right over the press box as we hear a slight bang on the roof.
Yeah, I mean, this is a squad that had started the year off with 5 consecutive wins, and then you drop a heartbreaker and a doubleheader to Greensboro just by 1 run. And you know, we're going to go back to what Gates was saying as well. 9 losses this season, 5 of which came by 1 run. You've had a whole lot of games forced to extra innings as well, as Love slides in cleanly for a second stolen base today. And if we want to go even more in depth, I mean, they have a 2-run loss to Munskingham, a top 25 team, a 2-run loss to a Salisbury team that's a top 10 team. Like, they have had tough battles all year. And I think it's important to see that his team's a heck of a lot stronger than their record might reflect. Nevertheless, that Shenandoah one has got to hurt. Those back-to-back losses on the road.
Yeah, those 2 games are ones that this Hornet squad felt they should have won both. But just, I mean, that's softball. You never know who's going to win on any given day. And we talk about with how good of the squads that this Hornet team has been going up against. You go back to that Virginia Wesleyan game They went into 11 innings.
Yeah.
And they had plenty of opportunities to win that game, and they snuffed out opportunities that the Marlins also had. And the Marlins are a top 5 team in the nation at the moment.
And you're coming off of another game that was sent to extra innings against Shenandoah. You had one of the EMU games go to extra innings. You've had so many games that are forced to extras, which, gives you a little bit of taste of adversity when you started the year and you kept run ruling everybody. 3 or 4 of your first 5 wins were all via the run rule.
Layla Leeton will step up in the lefties batter's box. We got the slap-hitting second baseman. We know she's just got a ton of speed. She might be the fastest one on the squad. And it's always exciting to know that no matter where the ball is hit on the ground, that she's always got a chance of making that infield single.
This is really where you want to poke one through, but she's showing bunt.
Both runners advance on a dirt ball read. Good job from Alex Love and Zoe Elliott to take the extra 60 feet. And that stolen base from Alex Love earlier in Zoe Elliott's at-bat was another one that might have gotten a good read. We knew the ball was going in the dirt.
And that right there, before we get past it, that was a big pass ball. Because now you've got runners both in scoring position with one away. Obviously, you got a 3-0 count, so you're probably not going to wind up and do much here. But a drag bunt down the first base line is not the worst idea to have.
You see how far in every single fielder.
Yeah, I mean, do you think about just taking a big hack and trying to get a sac fly? You've got wheels over at third.
That's always a possibility. You might be able to sneak one by second base as she shows bunt, and it'll be a 5-pitch walk for Layla Leeton, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Lexi Powell.
And if you're Guilford, that's not the worst thing to happen in the world at all, because how much difference does it make with runners on second and third versus bases loaded with one away? Now you got the option of a double play and 4 outs everywhere.
We've got a coach meeting in the middle of the circle. Coach Dawn Simmons will meet with her players at third base.
And this is such a pivotal spot because you can get out of the frame right here and stay within striking distance if you can turn 2 or even just get 1 out and then try and, string them together back to back. But if Powell, who we saw is one of not just the best hitters on this team, but one of the best hitters in the conference early on in the season, can poke one through right here, that really changes the whole feeling in this ball game, where now you've got 2 extra runs on the board, another runner in scoring position, and still 1 down. And then you bring up Sarah Watts. So this is a big stage early on in this contest.
Lexi Powell looking to blow this game wide open with the bases loaded and 1 out. 4 straight runners have reached for the Hornets. Only 1 run in that first inning. Lexi Powell, big swing and a miss.
Yeah, she wanted that one. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's okay, Joe.
Lexi Powell hitting .355 this year. As we mentioned, was over 500 a couple weeks ago.
It just misses that outside corner, leaving up the count at 1-1. Lexi Powell going to try and find a gap here. Pretty much everybody on the bases has a ton of speed for the Hornets. She swings and misses for strike number 2.
Right now it feels like that was a good meeting in the circle.
If you're Lexi Powell, you're down in the count 1-2. You just got to simplify and try and poke anything into the outfield. As she does, laced up the middle. McCutcheon with a great stop. 2 runs are going to score. Leeson heads to third. Powell going to head to second on the throw. And it'll be a 2 RBI single for Lexi Powell.
And I misspoke. You don't only have 1 runner in scoring position. You've got 2. How about Lexi Powell? And it all starts with Leeson. She has so much confidence when she's rounding second. She's got her eyes on the hot corner, ready to get there quick. And how about that? You had 2 more on, a 3-0 advantage with Sarah Watts now. In a worst-case scenario for Lynchburg, you're feeling sac fly right here.
That one lined right over the first baseman. Sarah Watts has herself a single. Lexi Powell rounds third, heads for the plate. Throw not in time. And Watts heads to second. It'll be a 2 RBI single for Sarah Watts.
Well, that was quick.
One pitch, one swing, one single, 2 RBIs for Sarah Watts.
That's where you get dangerous, going to the top of your order with the bases loaded. Just like that, it turns into 4 runs here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
That's 6 straight batters that have reached base, 4 straight runs for the Hornets. And now you've got Kaylee Hackett at the plate, who's had such a great week going into this matchup. 1-0 pitch, drop ball, pulled the string, beautiful pitch from Gray.
You can tell she thought about it there for a second.
Looked like she wanted to swing, but I think that's a good job being able to hold back and take that one. Just misses that outside corner.
Sarah Watts now up to 21 ribbies on the year. I mean, she has done so much for this squad. What a great start to the season.
Hackett fouls that one off to the right side. I completely agree with you. Watts showing exactly why that she's in that 3-hole or the 2 spot. She's kind of been intermixing with the 3 and the 2-hole in the lineup. It looks like she's kind of set herself into that 2 spot. She looks comfortable. And she's back to her old ways. 2-2 count on Hackett in the dirt.
Yeah, and I don't think it really, you could put her 1 through 4, and I tell you it's a smart place to put her. As long as it's up towards the top, I like it.
Full count on Kaylee Hackett. Gray sets, fires, one to the shortstop, grounded, throw to first in time. Watt's gonna take third base on the throw. So runner on third now on a ground out from Kaylee Hackett. Good read from Sarah Watts. That'll bring up the lefty Alyssa Taliumptua.
I always think it's so fascinating when somebody bats left and throws right.
My brother actually used to do that. But he was flipped. He threw lefty and would hit righty.
Still, I don't, is it like a thing you just do when you're growing up? Is it more of a comfort thing?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I think they just, I mean, now this is just me. Obviously, it could be different. Maybe they just gave him the bat and said, when they were young, and said, just hit however you want. And maybe Taliumptua found herself comfortable in that lefty's batter's box.
It feels counterintuitive, which is a big word for me. But I don't get it. I'm just, you know, the way that I think coordination, I feel like it wouldn't match up. It's mainly a hips thing, I guess.
I think for some people, maybe it could be that they used to be switch hitters. I know I've heard that a lot, where there will be switch hitters that'll find themselves more comfortable in one side of the box as Taliumptua swings and misses at strike 2.
I get that, but I mean, I like Taliumptua could probably go into the right side. But she's not going to.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're more comfortable now on that left side. Maybe Taliumptua pops this one to the left side into foul territory.
I don't think we've seen a switch hitter yet this year.
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing with baseball, too. I don't think we've seen one down at Foxy either.
They're fun. I like them.
Yeah, switch hitters definitely some of my favorite. I mean, you look at Ozzie Albies, second baseman for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
He's one of the best in the game right now.
I just feel like those guys are all athletes.
They are athletes, Joe.
You know what I mean?
You are correct.
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez.
I mean, even if you were a switch hitter, I'd call you an athlete.
Well, I'm not an athlete anymore. As that one catches the corner, it'll be a strikeout looking, but not before the Hornets tack on 4 more runs in the bottom half of the second on 4 hits. Hornets have a 5-0 lead heading into the 3rd inning. Kaylee Dorse is going to try and shut down this Guilford lineup once again. We'll take a quick breather, and we'll head to the top of the 3rd on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. top of the third. Action will be led off by McCutcheon, followed by Daniel, and then back to the top of the order, and Shelton. McCutcheon swinging it away on the first pitch. Fouls this one into the trees and right in front of the stands on the rebound. So it'll be an 0-1 count on McCutcheon. Dorse is still in the circle for the Hornets as she fires that one in for strike 2.
It's been a great start to the day for Dorsis. We'll see if she can keep it up. I mean, we've talked a whole lot about these Guilford bats, but they've been kept relatively quiet this afternoon.
That one just misses the corner for ball 1. Dorsis had 2 backwards Ks in that top of the second. Looking to continue her great performance. As swung on and missed, strike 3. Another strikeout for Kaylee Dorses to lead off the top of the third action.
Doing what she does best. Retiring batters with the punch out.
Beautiful pitch from Dorses, and that'll bring up number 1, Alyssa Daniel, the freshman from Spring Lake, North Carolina, puts a bunt down. Kaylee Hackett charging, throw to first in time. Beautiful play from Kaylee Hackett at third base.
You know, I'm going to go back to where we talked the first batter of the afternoon, the top of the order with Olivia Shelton. She had that slow roller over to third, and we were talking about how Hackett's just got to get it out of there a little bit quicker, and you see the correction right there. And that's really what impresses a coaching staff, a color commentator, everybody in the stands. I mean, that's a really, really great bare hand pickup and flip to first on a frozen rope.
Ball starts with that transition on the throw to first, and that's honestly one of the big differences between outfield and infield. If you're an infield, you got to be quick in the glove, getting that ball out and throwing it to first base, and that's something that in the outfield you have a little, not too much more, but you have a little bit more grace period on that throw into the infield. So it'll be a 1-1 count as we move back to the top of the order, and Shelton had a single last time and then caught stealing as she hits this one into left field, heading foul, and it will go foul, and so we'll have 2 strikes on Shelton.
And Ethan, I misspoke earlier, so I need to correct that.
Go ahead, man.
I said she'd never attempted a stolen base this year. She's attempted 10 and successfully done 9.
Okay.
Now she's 9 for 11. I mean, she's a
we can kind of
speedster.
understand it now. As that one is a swing and a miss, a beautiful pitch from Kaylee Dorses for her 4th strikeout of the day, 2nd of the inning. Another great job from Dorses in the circle as another goose egg for Guilford in the top of the third. So we'll head to the home half of the inning. Lynchburg still with a 5-run lead. They're going to try and extend as much as they can on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Back at Aubrey Moon Field, Amita Maratsky, a accompanied by Joe Brennan and Evan Gates. We have a new pitcher in the circle for the Quakers. It'll be Micah Wilson, a freshman from Asheboro, North Carolina. This will be her 5th appearance in the circle. She has started 1 game. She's got 6 innings in total. As that one finds the zone for strike 1 on Madison Barnes. Hornets up 5-0 so far as Barnes hits this one deep into right field. Tracking back is the right fielder, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Good play from Daniel in right. So it'll be a quick out for the Quakers and Micah Wilson.
Barnes and Hackett, the only 2 Hornets that haven't reached the base today. This bottom of the order and the top of the order have had a whole lot of success, though.
We'll bring up Carly Hudnall. Had herself a base hit in between the shortstop and the third baseman. A beautiful pitch.
Can't find the zone, but I really like that one. I mean, that was going, what, 40 miles an hour, if that? And that's a good pitch to throw out there and when you got like a slapper or somebody likes to lay down bunts. It switches it up. Well,
catches the corner, leaving up the count at 1-1 on Hudnall.
If you remember, Huddy got on base her last plate appearance, as you mentioned, with that single, but then left early. That was the first out in the last frame.
Hornets ended up scoring their next 4 batters. In that last inning, there were 6 straight runners that found themselves on the bases. Hornets going to try and keep up the momentum in the bottom of the 3rd as Huddy hits this one into right center. Daniel tracking it into the gap, and it'll be a 2nd out of the inning. Great job by Micah Wilson to come in and so far shut this Lynchburg lineup down. As Alex Love will find herself in the box. Came into pinch run for Anna Grace Terrell after she laced one into center field. And she's sticking in the batter's box on that southpaw side.
See if we can have 3 balls all hit over to Daniel and right.
1-0 count on Alex Love. Joss misses that outside corner. It'll be a hitter's count for Alex Love.
Love, obviously a young talent here for the Hornets. This is just her 2nd at-bat of her collegiate career.
Laces that one into left field, tracking back and making the catch will be Shelton in left field. So quick 1-2-3 inning for the Hornets. And we'll head into the top of the 4th momentarily as we take a quick break on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Top half of the 4th set to commence. Dorse is still in the circle as that one's fouled off to the right side, and she starts off with a first pitch strike once again. That's what she does so well. in the circle. Dorsey's 4 strikeouts so far, 2 of them looking. Swung on and missed, strike 2 for Murish. Dorsey's so much velocity on every single pitch. And then she can come right back at you and pull the string for an off speed. As that one is blooped towards Sarah Watts. Good play, caught for out number 1. That'll bring up the pitcher, Micah Wilson.
30, Micah Wilson.
Wilson came in for the pitcher, Gray, and now she's hitting for her also, as that one is right down Broadway for strike 1. Dorsey's again starting off the at-bat with a first pitch strike, as that one grounded softly to Watts. Transition, throw to first in time. Good play from Sarah Watts as she's recorded both outs for the Hornets in this top of the 4th. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Williams.
Stepping up for the Quakers.
Williams struck out looking last time against Dorsey's. In the previous half inning, it was Daniel making the first 2 outs. And in this top of the 4th, it's Sarah Watts making the first 2 outs. So we'll do it again and see if she can make every single play for the Hornets. As Huddy can't find a block on that first pitch, it'll be ball 1 inside. Just misses that corner. A really great eye from Williams to be able to lay off the inside pitch. And she's ahead in the count, 2-0. As that one misses once again. And Dorsey's in danger of giving up a 2-out base runner. And if there's anything we know about Dorsey's, is she's not afraid to go right at hitters when she's down on the count. As that one misses the top half of the zone for ball 4, so it'll be a 2-out walk for Williams. And that'll bring up the DP, Lacey Johnson.
Now batting for Guilford, number 19, Casey Johnson.
Casey Johnson, excuse me. First pitch misses that outside corner. Dorsey's not afraid to try and paint the outside or the inside, but she hasn't been able to do so in the last 5 pitches. It's 5 straight balls for Kaylee Dorsey's. 1-0 pitch high. It'll be 6 straight now. And if you're Guilford and taking that into account, you probably have the red light as Hudnall will stroll out to the circle and just have a talk with her pitcher, Dorsey's.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move right here, just to try and do a little bit of a reset, talk it through. Because Hudnall's got a great eye at what's going on, and these two obviously have a great chemistry working together. Most times than not, when we see Huddy go up and have a word with her woman in the circle, the next couple of pitches look pretty darn pretty.
It'll be 6 straight balls for Dorsey's. 2-0 count on Wilson. As that one's, or excuse me, Johnson, that one's in there for strike 1. And like you said, she went up there, had a talk with Dorsey's, and maybe figured things out. 2-1 count. Dorsey's fires as that one grounded to Madison Barnes, and it'll be a soft ground out, an unassisted out number 3 for Madison Barnes. So it'll be 3 outs, and we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Another 0 put up on Guilford's side of the scoreboard, and we head to the home half of the 4th. Lynchburg with an opportunity to extend their lead. We'll be back momentarily on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Zoe Elliott set to lead off the home half of the fourth.
Now hitting for Lynchburg, number 12, Zoe Elliott.
Reached on a walk in her first at bat on that 4-run second inning and later scored.
It's actually a plate appearance on that bat.
You're right.
Do you know baseball,
Yeah,
softball?
yeah, I think I know baseball softballs. That one laced right to the first baseman. Beautiful catch from Williams. A lot of exit velocity on that swing. And a great catch for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that one had some heat behind it. Good heads-up play right there from Williams. Typically, it's on the other side of the field. I mean, I'm sure Murish is accustomed to making those kind of plays. Looked like the first is the hot corner right there.
And if you're Zoe Elliott, you just got to tip your cap, or you got to tip your visor
There you go.
towards
You're
her,
finally picking
as
up
I
on it.
remembered it this time. So
No one's rocking visors today, though, really.
yeah, it's a gloomy day outside as Leetzen just tries to stab at that one, but it'll even up the count at 1-1.
I do like that Leetzen gives you a little bit more slapping on this Lynchburg batting order. You really only see power hitters and bunters. You know what I mean? But Leetzen's certainly more than capable, and she's had a great start to the year. In her 8 at-bats, 3 hits coming into today. Driven in 2 runs as well. 375. Slow
Finds the
pitch.
zone. Beautiful pitch. You know, with a slap hitter, you want to slow down the velocity, try and get them more out in front. But Leetzen, if she puts the ball on the ground anywhere, it's going to be a close play at first as she slaps this one right towards the third baseman. Throw is off mark, and Leetzen will take second base on the throwing error. She's going to round second and head for third. Don Simmons is going to waver around to the plate, and it'll be a run for Layla Leetzen. It'll be an error on the throw, but we'll call it an inside the park home run for now, as that one just went into the corner, into foul territory into right field. And there's that speed that Leetzen displays.
How about that? Looks like it's going to be an out at first, and oh, she's got 2, she's got 3, she's got 4, all the way around. Leetzen. And we talked about the errors in the opening of this broadcast and how they played an issue. 56 errors this season. That's second in the conference, 19 more than the team in third. And right there, I mean, you see how it can really affect the team. You go from a routine out at first to an inside the park home run.
One to remember for Layla Leetzen as the Hornets take a 6-run lead in the bottom of the fourth, and now you've got your leadoff hitter Lexi Powell at the plate. 2-0 count. That one can't find the zone, and she's up 3-0.
This string of bats was dangerous last time around. We saw back-to-back doubles from Powell and Watts. Obviously, we know it's going to be a red light here with a 3-0.
And that one's in the dirt, and it will be a ball 4. Joe, I know you want them to swing.
I do.
You want to see a swing on 3-0.
Not when it's a ball,
for
though.
your sake, I'm hoping it happens at some point. I just don't think it will.
It won't.
Getting your hopes up for nothing, but that's okay. We got a runner on first, and we'll have Don Simmons talk to the umpire at the plate as Lexi Powell's going to get a pinch runner, and Addison Walter.
You know, I saw Walter walk into the stadium day with Crocs. You a big Crocs guy?
Yeah, I don't mind Crocs. I would wear them to my summer league games, but we weren't allowed to wear them.
Instead of cleats?
Well, so you typically, with softball and baseball, when you get to that higher age group, you wear metal cleats. And you don't want to wear those cleats on concrete or stuff, so you wear your tennis shoes or your Crocs to the field, and then you swap into your cleats. So I was a big Crocs guy. I was a big comfortability player. If I wasn't comfortable, I wasn't going to play well.
Yeah, you strike me more of a Keens kind of guy.
I'm not going to lie, Joe. I don't know what that is. As Watts grounds one into left field, and that'll be a base hit station to station for the Hornets.
Keens are like a dad shoe.
A dad.
That's the best way I can hear. I'll pull a picture.
Yeah, you'll have to.
Unfortunately,
you'll
I
have to
can't
show
put one
me.
on the broadcast, but you guys at home can.
Go ahead and look on the Google, because as Kyle said yesterday, it's free. Oh my goodness. Okay, I know what you're talking
You
about
don't rock
now.
with the Keens?
No, I'm not rocking the Keens. We got runners on first and second for Kaylee Hackett as that one finds the corner for strike 1.
It's a dad shoe.
Yeah,
Tell
no,
you.
I can
That's like a
100%.
granola dad
I
kind of.
100% agree with you. Runner on second will be Addison Walter. And runner on first, Sarah Watts after that single. We'll have to get some more information as much as we can up here in the broadcast booth as why Lexi Powell was pinch run for as Hackett puts down a great bunt. And they're going to call it a dead ball as they're going to say the ball made contact with Hackett outside of the box, so that results in an immediate out. And runners will head back to first and second.
First, it seemed like that one might have just gone right back down into the dish for a foul ball. But again, Kaylee Hackett retired 0 for 3 on the day. On a day when Lynchburg's seen a whole lot of success.
And that's good for the Hornet. Well, obviously it's not good that Kaylee Hackett's 0 for 3, but it's good that other hitters in this lineup are stepping up when they're needed.
And that's what we talked about. Hackett's been hot as of late, so she moved up to that 3 spot. Now it's somebody else's day. And granted, we're probably not going to see a change game to game in today's doubleheader, but very well could happen. Just based on how well the bottom of the order is doing today.
We could also see with a 6-run lead, maybe some pinch hitters around the lineup as that one catches the corner.
You know, I'm actually going to call my shot.
You're going to call your shot.
I think if we get back up to 3 again, I think it'll be Bree Orange.
Brianna Orange. Okay, so if you're wrong, I want whoever's watching in the chat to clown Joe for getting it wrong.
Me? Who do you have a guess?
No, I don't.
Okay, sorry.
Could be Monahan. I could see Monahan
Monahan's
taking
a good
over
call.
and then taking over at third base.
I actually like that a lot.
As that one catches the corner, and it'll be a full count with 2 outs. Runners will be moving off of the release from the pitcher. We'll have to keep that in mind then. We'll see if there is a pinch hitter later on in the game. 3-2 count as that one grounded to the right side. It's past the second baseman. Runner heading to the plate. Throw in time but mishandled. And Taliumtua will take second base, and it'll be an RBI single for the left fielder, Alyssa Taliumtua. And now there are runners on second and third with 2 outs for Madison Barnes.
And a couple of ribbies today for Taliumtua. A great day for your hitter in the cleanup spot. And now you've got a chance to really put this one away. We're getting towards that run rule territory. And right now it's feeling like if they can get a couple more on the board, it really changes the complexion. And now you only got 3 outs to work with if you're Guilford. I mean, we're at a 7-0 ball game right now.
7-0 with runners on second and third with 2 outs. Madison Barnes looking to get out of a small slump. And going back to Taliumtua, this is her third multi-hit day in her third multi-hit game in the last 5 games for Taliumtua. And I think she's settled into that 4 cleanup role in this lineup.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. She certainly looks more than comfortable right now.
1-1 count on Madison Barnes for playing first base today. Pitch lined right into the gap into right center field. 2 runs are going to score. Madison Barnes is going to head to second. She's going to round second and head for third. The throw, not in time, and it'll be a 2-out, 2 RBI triple for Madison Barnes.
How about that? A base clearing triple from Barnes. Her second triple of the season. She's got a little bit of deceptive speed to her.
As soon as she saw that one into right center, you could tell with the way that she was taken off out of the batter's box that she wanted not only extra bases, but she wanted that triple. And now here comes Carly Hudnall, her third time around in the order. Some more 2-out rallies for the Hornets. They've done that very well lately. That'll even up the count at 1-1. Carly Hudnall with a single in her first at-bat. And a fly out to right center field in her second as that one's poked to the shortstop. Throw to first will be in time, but not before the Hornets tack on 4 more. Their second 4-run inning of the game. They've got a 9-run lead heading into the top of the 5th. As we are going to head to our sideline reporter in Evan Gates second. And we'll go ahead, Evan.
Well, listen, guys, I might not have a lot of change in my pocket, but I'll tell you who does. This Lynchburg softball team who has really tested an array of ingredients this season. 2 different players have been at third base, 3 at short, 3 at catcher, 3 at second. So you can tell that Coach Don Simmons is really using different gears, trying to figure this thing out. Now, injuries have played a part. 2 different Hornets have had concussions this season, but it's really a microcosm for that bigger picture. Lynchburg wants to be in a really brilliant spot heading down the stretch, and you feel like, yes, it's the middle of the season, but 9-0 right now against Guilford. Things are on the up, and they're hoping to sweep this doubleheader here on Moon this afternoon. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Evan. He said it beautifully, and we've got a new pitcher on the mound in Kate Charlton, one of the Charlton sisters. And we'll go over it again, the transfer from Greensboro. We know she's got a lot of confidence on the mound. Her last couple occasions in the circle have gone well for her. Sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia. Rookie pitcher of the year in the USA South, as she threw 90 innings and 37 strikeouts. So far this season, she's pitching with a 2.25 ERA. So she's impressing everybody in 3 appearances. In 2 starts, 9.1 innings, just 3 earned runs, and only 6 hits and 2 strikeouts.
Add an extras.
It'll be ball 1 for Kate Charlton. She threw against Virginia Wesleyan a couple weeks ago as that one swung on and missed for strike 1. It'll even up the count.
Yeah, Charlton, a big-time addition here for the Hornets pitching staff this season. A transfer comes in, was originally recruited by Lynchburg, opted to go over to Greensboro. But that's a team that had a whole lot of turnover from last season to this year. They lost their coaching staff, fresh new faces in there, and with that, naturally, you have a whole lot of players hit the portal. Kate Charlton, no exception to that. And she's had a great start to the year. Granted, a small sample size, as you were saying, just to tick over 9 innings of work. Excited to see what she can bring right here.
That one blooped into right field. Zoe Elliott ranging over towards the foul line, and that'll be caught for out number 1. So a good start to the inning for Kate Charlton and her defense in the top of the 5th.
And you only need 3 outs. We're in run rule territory right now. So if this stays at 8 or more, that ends the first game of the doubleheader.
Would be a quick one. The Quakers would have to score 2 runs to be able to keep this game 1 going, as we're going to have a pinch hitter for the Quakers. It'll be Brooke Goings. I apologize if I'm butchering that name. I believe it's Goings. Sophomore from Lake Villa, Illinois. Illinois, that's one that I actually don't think I've ever seen.
You've never seen someone from Illinois?
Well, okay, I've seen people from Illinois, but I'm talking about on a roster.
You ever been to the Bean?
No, I can't say that I have.
It's life-changing. It's like
You've been to the Bean then?
Of course. Of course I've been to the Bean. It's like the Eiffel Tower of the Midwest.
Explain to me how it is life-changing.
It's a giant bean. I mean, what's more life-changing than that?
Grounded over towards Leetzen at second. Quick throw to first in time for out number 2, and the Quakers are down to their last out. A bean being life-changing. I can't wrap my finger around that one.
There's just nothing else like it. I mean, would you call the Leaning Tower of Pisa life-changing?
I guess, yeah, I would.
Have you been there?
I have not been to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, no.
Okay.
Have you?
No, but I've been to the Bean.
Oh, there's 2 outs, 1 out left to go for the
I mean, I
Quakers.
think it's got more draw to it than like the Empire State Building. I
You
mean,
think so?
that's just a tall building. I've seen a tall building in Lynchburg. Probably not as tall.
Yeah, I don't think the buildings in Lynchburg are as tall as the Empire
I mean,
State
Chicago's
Building.
probably the spot. You got the Sears Tower, which is even bigger than the Empire State Building.
You know, actually, I have been to Chicago. I haven't seen the beam, though, because I
How do you
had
go to Chicago and you're like, nah, I don't need to see
Well,
the beam?
it was for our World Series run my junior year. We actually had to fly into Chicago and drive to Cedar Rapids, as that one is thrown to first on the grounder, and that'll be out number 3.
That's ball game.
Yeah, that will be game 1 set. Game, set, and match. 9-run win for the Hornets in game 1. Don't go anywhere. We have a second game.
Yeah, and what a great start to Lynchburg to pick up a win here against Guilford. Obviously, in conference play, you'd like to pick up as many as you can. A great chance to go for the sweep now here today. And it really felt like Dorsis was able to quiet this Guilford batting order, a group that's got 8 players hitting over 300 this year. And they really couldn't find a whole lot of success there. And obviously also a great step in from Kate Charlton to go 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah, great job from the pitching staff and the hitting. It was an all-around complete domination for the Hornets. 9 runs scored on 8 hits. Just two hits for the Quakers. So great job from Kaylee Dorses and Kate Charlton. Like you said, Kate Charlton with a small sample size. This is just adding on to the experience that she has throughout the season. So game 1 will go in favor of the Hornets. And the beautiful thing about doubleheaders, Joe, is that we've got one coming right up after this, just after a short lunch break. It was a 1-hit day for Lexi Powell, but she found herself on the bases all 4 at-bats on 3 walks, so that'll make her on-base percentage through the roof. It was a 2-hit day for Sarah Watts. She had 2 singles, scored once. A 2-hit day for Alyssa Taliumtwa. I say 2-hit day, there's still one more game, but a 2-hit game for Alyssa Taliumtwa. Had a double in that first inning and a single in that 4th. And a great job by Layla Weeson. She's found herself in this lineup the last couple games, and she's been doing a fantastic job at second base.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by Leetzen over at second. Obviously, Evan told us a little bit about the changes that we've seen from this squad in the infield. And the way that they're able to step into these new positions and do so with such ease really shows you a lot about what this squad can do. I mean, 2 different players at third, one of which hadn't played third until the week before this season. 3 different players at shortstop, 3 different players at second. I mean, it really has been a carousel in the infield, but no errors today. That's obviously a good sign. We saw really clean fielding.
Yeah, always a plus to have a 0 in that errors column. 2 for the Quakers, and I will have to say, Joe, we were both wrong. No pinch hit, no Kaylee Monahan or Brianna Orange. We'll have to keep that one and hold it on for the second game. But it's an exciting matchup for the Hornets. They came out firing 9 runs. They scored in 3 of the 4 innings that they had for home half of the innings, as they are huddled over into left field and right field for both the squads. We'll get.
You got to feel confident about that first game, especially because they seem like they've had, in some instances, more success in that second game compared to the first. Nevertheless, when you've got your ace in Dorses kicking things off in the afternoon, you got to feel confident about what your defense can do. But the Barrels really got going early and kept on rolling. 5 runs in the first 2 frames, 4 of which came in the second, and then another 4, obviously, that came to close things out in the bottom of the 4th.
It makes you that much more confident with this second game. Like you said, they've been doing better in their second games out of doubleheaders, and it makes you more confident to go to different players throughout that second matchup in this doubleheader. A lot of pitchers that you can go to. We expect to most likely, I would put my money on Emily Charlton going out there and starting off that second game, as that's what we've seen so common after Dorses throwing game 1. But we know that Dawn Simmons is capable of switching things up on us. We know Emily Charlton has started some first games of double headers throughout this entire season, but it's been a crazy one. You're always going to have tough matchups in the ODAC. You can never take teams lightly, which is the beauty of really such a great conference, and it's like that in every single sport. In baseball, lacrosse, whether that's men's or women's, soccer, you name it, any sport that we have in the ODAC, it's always going to be a tough matchup. And that's just the beauty of any conference and having such a great conference throughout the entire country.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of great softball across the ODAC. These two squads, no exception. And I wouldn't expect a similar outcome in this second game, in all honesty. I feel like we're going to see a little bit more of a competitive edge from Guilford, and it should be a little bit tighter. It just felt like that one got out of hand in 2 frames, and they really just didn't have a chance to climb back into it.
A lot of runs scored by the Hornets. There are a lot of walks, and we'll go back over it again. Lexi Powell, 3 walks today and 1 hit, so 1 for 1, but 4 plate appearances, and every single one of them leading to her getting on base. And she scored 3 times, so 3 of those 9 runs, a third of those 9 runs, go in the name of Lexi Powell. And it really was just a fantastic second inning, as you had Hudnall leading off with a single, obviously getting caught stealing off of leaving early, but then you had Terrell, Elliott, Leetson, Powell, and Watts all getting on base after that, and 4 runs being scored. And then you go into that bottom of the 4th, and it was pretty much the same situation. It started off with a really great line out from Elliott, and then 4 runs scoring later on. And Layla Leetson with that inside the park home run off of that throwing error to first base, and then it was followed up by Lexi Powell with a walk and Sarah Watts with a single. Both of them later scored, and then the batter interference from Kaylee Hackett, single from Alyssa Talley onto us, and then later scored. And then Madison Barnes with just a beautiful triple into right center field. And we've got Evan Gates, our sideline reporter, with head coach Don Simmons right down the third baseline in her natural spot. And we'll head to Evan Gates now. Go ahead, Evan.
Just hang on a second.
Coach Don Simmons is so gracious with her time. Lynchburg gets it done 9-0 in your first game, and obviously you've played so many doubleheaders throughout the year, but to see an offensive explosion like that, you get 2 RBI singles in that second inning. What was working?
Well, I think their approaches to the plate and their confidence, they knew what they were looking for, and they trusted their swings.
Well, one more question. Obviously, Kaylee Dorsis goes out again, just 2 hits allowed, but maybe more importantly, none allowed with 2 outs or with runners on. And so, what has kind of been the talk and the conversations coming into these starts, knowing, yes, you're in the middle of the ODAC slate, but every single game's going to matter?
Don't change anything. Just trust your stuff.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. Lynchburg's going to be on for game 2 coming up shortly versus Guilford.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Evan Gates. And there it is, the confidence in the at-bats set by Coach Don Simmons. Well, that'll be the end of game 1, but don't go anywhere. We've got a doubleheader, a second game against the Quakers and the Lynchburg Hornets. It was a great game 1. Lynchburg won 9-0. I'm Ethan Morotsky, and I was joined by Joe Brennan, Evan Gates. Thank you so much, and don't go anywhere on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
Hello and welcome back into the broadcast booth here from Aubrey R. Junior Field. It's the Hornets and the Guilford Quakers here in the second game of today's doubleheader. Lynchburg with a dominant 9-0 victory in game one. A little bit of a lineup change on both sides here in game two. Kate Charlton in the circle gets us started with one downstairs at the ankles for a 1-0 count. Let's walk you through the Quakers' starting batting order. Leading things off, Olivia Shelton, followed by Riley Murish on deck as this one's waved by for the first strike of the count. Abby Whelan in the hole, Casey Johnson, the designated player in the cleanup spot, followed by Kalissa Williams, Chloe Stoner, Riley Mitchell, Brooke Goings, Corin McCutcheon to turn things around. Back to the circle, the toss not in time, and it's a leadoff base knock for Olivia Shelton. That's just the way you wanted to start things. Nevertheless, we go back to the beginning of game one today, Ethan. Shelton got on base. It was one of their 2 hits in game one through their 5 innings of work. Nevertheless, Shelton was thrown out, caught stealing. We'll see how aggressive they play it this time around. Squared around a bunch. Shelton off. The tag laid down. And if I saw that one coming, I can tell you that behind home plate, Carly Hudnall had a feeling that that one was on the way as well.
It looked like a missed bunt attempt, and good job by Hudnall to stay alive back there behind the dish and throw the runner out at second. It's like deja vu, Joe.
Huddy behind home plate, the younger Kate Charlton starting in the circle. The infield for Lynchburg, similar to what we saw in the first time around, with Barnes at first, Leeton at second, and Watts over at shortstop. However, as the 1-1 rolls outside for ball 2, Monahan gets the nod this time around at the hot corner, who we saw earlier this season. And in the outfield from left to right, it's Taliumtua in left, Hackett in center, making the shift from third to center field, her natural position, and Lexi Powell out in right. Two as our home plate umpire will stroll on over to the circle and head right back.
I think going back to the lineup with what happened throughout the first game and how well the Lynchburg offense did, I think it's okay to mix things up. You throw Monahan at third base, give her a shot, and see if she can show her way around Coach Don Simmons' lineup.
Down low, and the count goes full. 3-2 count, 1 down. Murish, the freshman out of Boren, Texas, with a chopper over to Watts on one bounce. Fields throw over to first in time. 2 down.
Great job by Sarah Watts. We'll talk about that again, how she's playing shortstop for this Hornet defense, who typically, since the start of the season, she's been playing second base, but with how the struggles have been going on the infield, and with Layla Leeton also doing a good job inserting herself into this defensive lineup, I think it's a good idea moving Watts over to short so you can have Leeton on that infield.
2 up, 2 down. That'll take us to Abby Whelan, a freshman third baseman out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. 1-0 on the way. Just got a piece of the bat, sent it foul down the right side. The left-hander Charlton winds and fires. Waved by for strike 2.
Beautiful pitch from Charlton, helping herself get more ahead in the count, 1-2 now.
She's someone that, you know, we're a whole lot excited to see what she can do throughout her collegiate tenure. We mentioned it in the first game, only 9.1 innings worth of work, now up to 10.1 after she closed out the top of the 5th to end the contest in game 1, went 3 up, 3 down. She's someone that's got a whole lot of juice, and those off-speed pitches can really, really mess with batters. But the youngest pitcher in the rotation for Lynchburg when you've got a very veteran and experienced bunch with her older sister Emily in her 5th year, and then upperclassmen, as we've seen with Dorsis doing what she's done all year long. As this one on a line over to the shortstop. Toss from Watts in time. It looked like she might have got that one in the air. Nevertheless, better safe than sorry. They zip over to first. Puts it away. 3 up, 3 down. 6 up, 6 down today here for Charlton in the circle. With that, we'll walk you through the starting lineup for Lynchburg as they take the dish. Lexi Powell to lead things off, followed by Sarah Watts, Alyssa Taliumtua, and Kaylee Hackett in the cleanup spot. Then Madison Barnes, Carly Hudnall, Anna Grace Terrell, Callie Monahan, and Layla Leetzen to turn things around at the bottom of the order. In the infield for Guilford, it's Williams at first, Goings at second, Stoner at short, and Murish at the hot corner. In the outfield from right to left, it's Singletary, McCutcheon, and Shelton in left, with Mitchell behind the dish, having Whelan toss to her in the circle.
I think this is a good change for the Hornets. It's not much of a change, obviously, with how well they did last game, and the offense just was straight booming out of the gate. They won by 9 runs. I think you give Monahan an opportunity. You keep Leetzen in the lineup. They found success with her on the infield. You switch around Taliumtua and Hackett, who both have been hitting well. Obviously, Hackett struggling in the first game, but we know that with her experience and being a 5th year on this squad and how well she's been hitting lately, we know that it just takes one single at-bat to turn her whole day around for Kaylee Hackett.
Well, starting in this circle, it'll be Abby Whelan, who comes in with an ERA just over 5, a whip of 1.68, 3-4 in her 12 appearances and 8 starts. Second most work with 47 innings thrown this season. First pitch just a touch outside for Lexi Powell. She'll take it for a 1-0 count. Bats were hot last game for Lynchburg. Tied for the 5th most they've recorded this season. We saw a little bit of everything. You had an inside the park home run, a triple from Madison Barnes, a handful of extra base hits. We saw Lexi Powell and Sarah Watts go back-to-back in the 2nd inning, which really got the offense rolling. The bases were loaded with 1 down. And that Hornet offense really caught fire. 6 consecutive batters reached the base as this one squeaks by Williams and Goings out to right field, and it's a leadoff single for Lexi Powell.
And Lexi Powell just continues the tear that she's on today. This is her 5th time in both these games so far that she's been able to reach first base. She had 3 walks in the last game and 1 hit, so that'll be her 2nd hit on the day. Just a beautiful job poking that outside pitch down to right field. A great job by Lexi Powell to lead off this Lynchburg offense.
A 1 count here for Sarah Watts. Watts 2 for 3 in game 1 today. Down low, taken for a ball. Watts on a 6-game hit streak. One, punch foul down the right side. And on that 6-game stretch, she's had 2 games with multiple hits, one of which was game 1 here today. The first game in the doubleheader against Eastern Mennonite. That same game, she had 3 runs, along with a homer and a ribby.
You can see on that foul ball earlier in the at-bat, Lexi Powell was taking off to second, so could possibly see her try and get an extra 60 feet here.
2-2 on the way. Watts pounds it out to left field, finds turf to lay down, and it's back-to-back singles for the Hornets to kick off the bottom of the frame here.
Good piece of hitting. Good job by Watts to be able to stay on top of that ball. You get under it and just might pop that one into left field, but a great job to be able to stay on top and lace that ball.
Powell and Watts both with their 23rd hit of the season. That's such a powerful 1-2 punch to really lead off your order. And those two get walked a whole lot as well. Watts first on the team with 10, Powell second with 6, tied with Madison Barnes and Bree Hodges. 1-0 for Taliumptua. Off-speed pitch, taken shoulder high for ball 2. And we talked a little bit about it in game 1. The explosive stretch that Taliumptua has had in the last couple of games has earned her that cleanup spot, or third in the order rather, that power hitter spot. Back-to-back games now going 2 for 3 multi-hit performances in 3 of her last 4 contests for the junior out of Yorktown, Virginia. 3-0. Finds the zone.
No swing on that 3-0, Joe. Looks like you're going to have to go one more batter that goes up 3-0. The Taliumptua pitches shallow, ranging over, makes the play. Powell faking the run to third.
Yeah, Powell can be a little ambitious, but we've seen her pump the brakes a couple of times. Right there, a good heads-up play. Again, you really don't want to have that out at third, and you've got a runner in scoring position with 1 down.
Especially with Kaylee Hackett coming up to the plate now, we know it's just 1 swing away from breaking this game wide open.
Hackett takes his strike on the first pitch. Hackett was the only Hornet that did not reach a bag in the game earlier on this afternoon. That ended a 5-game hit streak for Kaylee Hackett, 2 of which were multi-hit performances, both against EMU, where she went 2 for 2 in both contests. 1-1, the right-hander deals, a slow roller, 4-6. Throw won't be made. An opportunity to turn 2, where they'll retire the middle runner.
Good job by the Quakers. Great job being able to get 1 out. 1 is a must, and 2 is a plus, is what some people say. So great job to get 1. You got 2 outs now, and there's still a force out on first and second, but you got 1 runner 60 feet away now from scoring.
I like that. You come up with that on your own?
No, I heard that one growing up.
No, you're supposed to say yes. Yes, trademark pending. One more time for the people in the back.
1 is a must, 2 is a plus.
I love that. 1-0, 2 down, runners on the corners. See if Lynchburg goes for the double steal. Second offering taken for a strike. Obviously, Hackett isn't the quickest Hornet on this squad. Nevertheless, 8 for 9 on stolen base attempts this season. She's certainly more than capable to swipe a bag. This time she's off. Slides in safely. No real threat. Off a no throw from Mitchell.
And I like the idea to take second base there, especially if they're going to give it to you that freely. Now it takes away a force out at second base, forces them to go to first.
2-1, wind and fire inside. Oh, but grazes the inner portion of the plate. Second strike of the count. Deuce is wild. 2 runners in scoring position. Fouled off. Great day at the ballpark here on Moonfield. 58 degrees and cloudy. We've had a hot couple of days here in the Hill City, and get hotter as the week goes on. We've got a high of 84 this weekend. Can you believe that?
Spring's here, Joe, and let me tell you, I'm all for it because I can't stand the cold weather.
2-2. This one lined right up the gut. 1 run on the way. Second one coming home. Hackett slides in safely. A 2 RBI double with 2 outs on the board from Madison Barnes.
Beautiful swing from Barnes right up the middle. Kaylee Hackett, as soon as contact was made with 2 outs, she was thinking of going home the entire way, and that'll be a 2 RBI single for Madison Barnes, reaching second on the throw to the plate.
Barnes now with 4 ribbies this afternoon. Picked up 2 in the first game today. Matches that total with 1 swing of the bat here in this second game, at the bottom of the first frame. That brings up Carly Hudnall. Huddy sends it foul down the left side.
Carly Hudnall, one of the slap hitters on this squad, but looks like she's swinging away in this at-bat.
She's really where we started that conversation of Lynchburg getting their swagger back and trying to regain that confidence. As this one goes into the stands, nearly hits a fan. Good awareness. She leaned forward and hit the back of her seat. That's what I'm trying to catch, but
You think you catch a foul ball out there, Joe?
I could try.
We'll have to go out here one of these days and have them hit you fly balls.
1-2, a chopper that squeaks through for another base hit, and Madison Barnes will scratch across home plate for the 3rd run of the first inning. An RBI single from Huddy, and a base knock in her first at-bat of each game today. That'll result in a meeting here in the circle for the Quakers.
Good 2-strike swing from Hudnall. She went back to the slap when she had 2 strikes and just snuck it by the middle infield.
Bring that battery back. Bring that one back. Well, if you're the Quakers right now, the biggest thing is just getting out of innings. It seems like when hits have come, Ethan, they've really come in bunches. We saw that in the bottom of the second last game with 4 runs coming across, and then once again in the 4th with 4 more runs. That's really what put that contest out of reach.
Well, what this Lynchburg offense has been doing so well is their 2-out hitting. I want to say majority of their runs have come with 2-out rallies, and that's just a great. There's nothing more you can do there. It's just beautiful piece of hitting with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
Anna Grace Terrell from the southpaw batter's box. 0-2 count. High and tight. Throw back to first offline, and Hudnall will scamper over to second. So an E2 advances the catcher. Now a runner in scoring position for AG.
Hornets have also been taking advantage of the errors from Guilford. We'll see what Terrell can do with 2 outs.
1-2, the right-hander kicks and fires, waved by for strike 3. First strikeout of the afternoon from Whelan. And we head to the top of the second inning. Hornets up by 3. And we welcome you back into the ballpark. Top of the second inning in game 2 of today's doubleheader. Kate Charlton still in the circle for the Hornets. She's had a terrific day today, Ethan.
Yeah, she's been doing a great job, and we talked about at the end of the first game how she's gotten a couple innings under her belt for this Hornets squad, but with Emily Charlton endorses, you don't know how much you're going to get in that circle, but every single opportunity that she's had, she's been doing a great job.
Yeah, Kate's certainly been excellent. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, she's not easy to hit off of.
Yeah, you did get a couple at-bats off of Kate Charlton. How did it look coming in?
This one's pounded down the right side. Powell going back off the wall. Here's the throw to second. The tag not laid down in time. Sarah Watts thought she had it. Nevertheless, the Guilford Quakers with a double to kick off the top of the inning. Casey Johnson with a powerful ball out to right field.
Beautiful swing, beautiful aggressiveness on a young pitcher in Kate Charlton, and a good job leading off this inning.
And, we were talking about it. It didn't look like that. First at-bat I had was a chopper right back to the circle. I said, no, that doesn't count. We're going to do it again. And I embarrassed myself. Took 3 pitches, and she struck me out. I swung on 2 of them, one of which was the last pitch, and I did a circle. It wasn't pretty.
Well, there's a reason why she was the Rookie Pitcher of the Year in the USA South last year.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a little bit of grace there.
Thank you. Thank you. I need it. That'll bring up Kalissa Williams here from the right side. First pitch, check swing, doesn't matter. Right down the pipe for a strike.
Should put you out there with a lacrosse stick next time.
To swing?
Well, they did that in the lacrosse game.
Chopper over to Watts. Gloves. Shoots over to first, and there's one away.
I'm talking about for when you go take fly balls. If we can get that going, you might have to go out there with a lacrosse stick.
Yeah, that's more. But I don't have a problem with catching. I've got pretty good hand-eye coordination for a broadcaster.
for a broad. You've used to play. You were an athlete.
Yeah, JV.
Hey, it's still an athlete.
Everybody finds out at some point when they're not going to go pro. I was at a younger age than most. First offering from Charlton, just a tick outside for the first ball. When did you discover you weren't going to be a professional athlete?
I don't know. I can't give you.
You still haven't?
Yeah, I still think I could go pro. I got another year of eligibility.
The Lynchburg Hillcats right down the road. This one lined out to center field. Hackett having to go back all the way to the wall. Here comes the relay, and it's not going to be in time. Hornets didn't stand a chance. A stand-up double from Chloe Stoner. And just like that, the Guilford Quakers with their first run of the afternoon.
Beautiful swing. It looked like Hackett might have been playing in, and the ball was just smoked past her in center field, so a great job from Williams.
And that's their first run in the last 3 games. This one is slow roller over to Leetson. Gloves with no problems. The lead runner advances as Chloe Stoner heads to the hot corner. So a fielder's choice.
Stepping up to the plate.
And now you bring up Brooke Goings. Goings on one hop to Leetson, and a 4-3 ground out to conclude the top of the second. Guilford on the board for the first time today. It's a 1-3 ball game as we head to the home half. And we welcome you back into the ball game. Monahan to lead things off for the Hornets as they go 8-9-1 in their order. She'll be followed up by Leitzen with her first at-bat of this ball game. Then Lexi Powell back up at the top of the order. The top of the order has been dangerous today for Lynchburg. Grounder that goes foul. Williams just couldn't get a glove on it in time. That's one that you want to charge at and just scoop it up right before it rolls foul.
It looked like that spin might have started to carry it into fair territory.
0-2, Monahan sky high in foul territory. This will go out of play. Monahan, a freshman utility player out of Louisa, Virginia. Wheeling right outside the zone. Monahan has gone 0 for 10 in her last 10 at-bats. 1-2. Out to left field. Just barely goes foul. Thought we had an announcer's jinx on our hand right there.
That's a good swing for Monahan, inside pitch, being able to keep the hands in and drive that down the left field line just a couple inches from being a fair ball.
And I think it goes all the way back to what we were talking about, getting the swagger back. She was 1 for 1 in her first game against William Peace, had a double. And since then has struggled to put one into play. But she was a very, very talented player coming out of Louisa County. As this one sent foul. I mean, she was a National Fast Pitch Coaches Association honorable mention, first team all-region, second team all-district. One, two, just outside, and she really fits that Louisa, Virginia mold. Likes hunting, likes fishing. I mean, that's that part of the world.
Yeah, I'm from up north. I couldn't really get into that hunting and fishing kind of stuff.
That doesn't surprise me.
Why do you say that?
You just strike me as a city boy.
You know, people call me that. I'm not a city boy. I would say I'm in between of like the country style and then the city life.
Well,
I'm on like the outskirts.
Are you from Northern Virginia?
I'm from Northern Virginia.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm like 30 minutes from the city.
You're basically a Yankee. 2-2 on the way, tipped foul. Abby Whelan, the freshman. Freshman on freshman crime here. 2-2. Right-hander deals, sent foul, a quality at-bat right here from Monahan.
Yeah, really good. She's driving deep into the count, staying alive, still a 2-2 count. She put some good swings on balls, trying to get one into fair territory and find some outfield grass.
Two-two, popped up out to center field, and McCutcheon right there to vacuum it up for out number 2. Or pardon me, out number 1.
Still a really good at-bat by Callie Monahan. Drove it deep into the count.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great plate appearance that we just saw from Monahan. And that's exactly what you want to see out of your freshman hitters, that you're making good contact. It's just not necessarily the best location, but nevertheless, really hung in tight and tough. Working on a quality pitcher. You could argue this is the Quakers' ace. They don't necessarily have one pitcher that really separates themselves from the pack. Nevertheless, Whelan's certainly in the mix towards their top tier of arms they sport in the circle. With that being said, we move to the bottom of the order with Layla Leitzen. 2 balls, no strikes. Freshman deals right down Main Street. 2-1.
I think that's a good look from Leitzen. 2-0 count. You want to really only swing at that perfect pitch. So I think that's a good job from Leitzen to be able to let that one go.
Leadson just got the bottom of the ball, sends it in to the back net. 2-2 count. Fought off once again as they stuck it at 2-2. Whelan was also a very talented pitcher during her high school career. 2024 All-Division Pitcher of the Year, was an All-Metro honorable mention and first team All-County as this one sent foul down the left side.
Another great at-bat from the Hornets. Layla Leadson staying alive. These are tough pitches that she's fouling off.
Whelan was also a Girl Scouts Silver and Bronze Award winner. You ever? I feel like it's still Girl Scout cookie season. You got a favorite out of that bunch?
Oh, easily Thin Mints.
Really?
Easily.
That's a little cliche. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it is, but they're just so good.
You ever had a Samoa before?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Joe. Thin Mints are the only Girl Scout cookie I've ever had.
We'll get a box of Samoas up here next broadcast and have a great time. Something about that coconut. 2-2. Right over to third. Murish with a toss to first, and there's 2 down. 2 up, 2 down after an inning with 7 batters taking the plate.
Number 10, Lexi Powell.
And Lexi Powell now steps in at the top of the Lynchburg order, 1 for 1. Had a single to kick things off here in game 2. First offering from Whelan, down low and inside for a 1-0 count. Once again, can't locate the zone. 2-0. Swung through. Powell really liked that pitch, just couldn't put bat to ball.
She definitely wanted a piece of it. You could hear the grunt from how powerful that swing was.
2-1. Once again, same result. Two. Popped up, shallow left field, gets down for a base hit, and Lexi Powell's going to turn it into 2. A stand-up double with 2 outs on the board.
Great job from Lexi Powell to be able to poke that one, and that's 3 straight at-bats. I believe have gone into 6+ pitch at-bats, so great job from Lexi Powell to be able to stay alive and keep this inning going.
And what's so interesting is we haven't seen a whole lot of strikeouts yet today from Guilford. I believe we only had 2 in game 1, 1 here in game 2 thus far. But this is a Guilford team that ranks 2nd in the ODAC with 103 strikeouts this season. So they're more than capable of racking up those punch-outs. But the Lynchburg Bats, I mean, they have looked the best we've seen them since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and it's basically what Don Simmons said at the end of that first game is they're just going up into these at-bats and they're having confident swings and confident counts, and that's really the most important thing when you're on a diamond.
Watts, high fly ball out to right field, and Singletary tucks it away for the final out of the 2nd inning. Lynchburg leaves 1 runner stranded in Lexi Powell in scoring position. Nevertheless, we move to the top of the 3rd inning here on LHSN. Top of the third inning here on Moon Field. Joe Brennan alongside my good friend and partner Ethan Morotsky. McCutcheon up to bat to lead things off at the bottom of the order for the Quakers as they'll go 9-1-2 with Olivia Shelton on deck. Charlton with a really great start to this contest. Closed out game one, going 3 up, 3 down in the top of the fifth inning. He has given up 3 base knocks, a single, a double, and a triple thus far. Nevertheless, it's been a solid performance, and it's good to see her getting some more action in the circle for the Hornets.
Yeah, I think it's a really good call from Coach Simmons to throw Kate Charlton in this matchup, as that one's grounded to Leetzen at second, flip to first for out number 1. Now, going back to that thought, I think it's a great move. You know how much this Guilford offense struggled against a pitcher like Kaylee Dorsey, so you go to somebody similar in Kate Charlton and one of your younger pitchers to get them just that much more experience in an ODAC softball game. So I really like this call from Coach Don Simmons to go to Kate Charlton.
Only her 3rd start of this season, her 5th appearance. Through 5 innings against Muskingum, which was, 5 innings, 4 walks, no strikeouts, but only 1 hit given up. That's one of the few games this year where we've seen both Charlton sisters in the circle, if you will. We also saw her step in and take a start against Virginia Wesleyan, and that's a tough time to be thrown into the fire against a top 5 team in the country. At 2.1 innings worth of work in that start. As this grounder goes over to Monahan, a quick toss over to first on line on time. A great toss from the freshman for a 5-3 ground out.
Yeah, Kate Charlton looks so comfortable in the circle right now, and again, that's just so crucial. And you also have to think that not only was Kate Charlton one of the best pitchers in the USA South Conference down in Greensboro, but most of these teams haven't even seen her pitch once, so you don't really have any scouting reports on her.
That certainly doesn't make it any easier. You definitely come into this contest feeling like you're most likely going to see Emily Charlton and Kaylee Dorsey for 90% of the action today, with a little bit of Logan Curtis and potentially Kate Charlton. But it's really seeming like Kate could very well work herself into the mix as an active reliever and a part-time starter. 2-0. Grounded over to Watts. It's short. A hard throw on the money. What a play from the second baseman turned shortstop in Sarah Watts. That takes us to the home half of the frame. Bottom of the third coming up on LHSN. And we welcome you back into the broadcast booth. Home half of the third inning here from Moon Field, as Lynchburg has gotten off to a hot start in the batter's box today. 12 combined runs through the first and second game. Here's just 6 outs through for the Lynchburg batters. Taliumptua will lead things off for Lynchburg as they'll go 3-4-5 in their order, as the off-speed pitch taken up high to tie up the count at 1-1. Taliumtua retired on a fly ball out to left field in her last at-bat back in the first frame, but what a solid day it's been from her. As this one, a shallow pop-up out to left on a beat. Stoner reels it in for the first out of the inning.
Great job from Stoner to be able to track that one down. A little bit of an outfield play for the shortstop, and catching that ball over the shoulder is never going to be easy, especially when it's fading away from you.
Taliumtua hitless so far here in game 2, but I mean, she's been red hot. Someone with multi-hit games in 3 of her last 4 matchups. Nevertheless, that takes us to Kaylee Hackett, batting in the cleanup spot today, 0 for 4 through games 1 and 2. 1-0 count. The right-hander kicks and fires. Popped up out to right center field, and McCutcheon right there to clean it up for this second out. 2 up, 2 down.
Kaylee Hackett doesn't have a hit today, but she's staying aggressive. I really like how well she's been doing at the plate the last couple games, and like I said earlier, she's just one swing away from getting out of this small slump today and changing things around for herself.
That brings up Madison Barnes. Had a 2 RBI double her last at-bat in the first inning. It's been a good correction from the first inning to the second and third here for Whelan in this circle. She's given up 1 hit in her last 5, or pardon me, in her last 6 batters faced, versus 4 hits Lynchburg racked up in the first frame. 2-0 for Barnes. And it turns into a 3-0 count. Red light?
I think it's the red light.
Safe to say, we've had 3 3-0 counts today. I'm keeping tabs on it. 1 of which has been a walk. 2 have been strikes. 3-1 count now for Madison Barnes.
I think she's got the green light now.
Without a
3-1
doubt.
count. Still ahead, so you're still waiting for that. You still got to wait for a really good pitch to swing at.
3-1 just barely grazes the outer portion of the zone, and the count goes full.
And I still really like that take, even though it brings you to a full count with 2 outs. It was a really good pitch, and on the outside corner, you don't want to make weak contact with a 3-1 count.
Payoff pitch up top for ball 4. First walk of the afternoon from Whelan.
Stepping up to the plate for Lynchburg, number 6, Carly Hudnall.
That brings up the Goofy Goober and Carly Hudnall. Had to do it once this year, right? That's one kind of walk-up.
First year they've been able to do walk-up songs.
This one laced, and what a play made by Stoner. A snow cone grab to retire the inning. Not much you can do about it there if you're Hudnall.
Yeah, really nice swing. Almost got it right over the glove, but a really great play. Really great defense that we've seen so far by Guilford.
That will take us to the top of the 4th inning here on Moon Field. Lynchburg up 3-1. Abby Whelan to lead things off here for the Quakers in the top of the 4th inning. They go 3-4-5 in their order after a 3-up, 3-down inning from Charlton and Lynchburg. The southpaw lets it loose. Check swing right down Main Street. Ties up the count at 1-1. That one went in slow motion, just outside the zone.
Really great pitch from Charlton. Those are so tough to be able to hold back your swing on because they come in so slow, but the movement is just, it's so good.
This one low and away for a 3-1 count. Charlton unloads. A chopper over to third. Monahan to first. And a beautiful grab from Barnes over at first. A 5-3 ground out for the first out of the 4th inning.
They call it the hot corner for a reason. A chopper right to Monahan and a good throw. Great job getting that first out of the inning.
I don't know if I would call that one a hot corner. That's more of like a mild corner kind of grab.
Well, I think one of the reasons why they call it the hot corner is because you get so many rollovers to that third base area.
You're right. You know ball, I know.
A little bit, a little bit.
1-0 with one down for Casey Johnson. Sky high down the left side. Monahan with a beat on it. Brings it in for out number 2.
2 outs made by Monahan. You think she can get the third here?
Can, yes. Will, no.
You don't think she'll get it?
I don't. I really don't.
Never know.
I don't know. Yeah,
I guess it really depends on what pitches.
Do you want to predict? Do you want to predict the out here?
Well, we tried to predict pinch runners in the last game, and we were both wrong.
Oh, we didn't get back up to that top of the order.
That's true. That's very true.
It's null and void.
But I would like to say that my pinch hitter was going to be Callie Monahan, and she is playing third now. So I'll give myself half a point.
Yeah, I'll give you half a point. Upstairs, ball 1. All right, so what's the prediction? What's the out here?
I mean, my prediction, if I were a betting man, which I'm not, I would go Callie Monahan to third base.
1-0. Out to left field, and this one falls down on the warning track. Can they lay down the tag? No. A stand-up double from Calissa Williams. Or no, pardon me, we actually had a pinch hitter there. Trying to get some digits. That was Shiloh Gray with a powerful swing out to center field. My apologies.
Shiloh Gray was the starting pitcher in game 1, was also hitting in that game too.
This one a blooper out to right field. Powell underneath for out number 3. There's your Golden Glove winner. 3 doubles today for the Quakers. 1 run to show for it with 4 hits on the afternoon. We move to the home half of the 4th frame on LHSN. Bottom of the 4th inning, Lynchburg up by 2 runs in a 3-1 ball game. We had a 9-0 affair that ended in 4.5 innings in game 1 today. We had a feeling this time around to be a little bit more competitive, and I think we've gotten our money's worth.
Yeah, 100%. This Lynchburg lineup, both these lineups are actually doing really well so far this game. Guilford only 1 run to show for their 4 hits, but they're staying competitive, and they look more confident in the box and in the field in this second game.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the hitting certainly stands out with 4 base knocks for the Quakers thus far, 3 of which have gone for extra bases. That 1 run came with 2 doubles that were sandwiched together. As the count moves to 2-1 for AG. What's so interesting is Terrell still yet to record her first run of the season for someone that has 7 hits, 6 RBIs, and 3 walks. We've seen her get on base a whole lot, but still yet to scratch across home.
Well, typically when she reaches first base or second base or whatever she gets on with, whether it's a single or a double, we typically see her get pinch run for.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. 2-2 laid off for the designated player, and the count goes full.
Great job by AG to hold, make it go into another deep count. This Lynchburg lineup doing so well.
Monahan, DiNardo, and AG are the only 3 Hornets without a run this season. Check swing pops foul down the left side. DiNardo is someone that every time she's gone in, we've seen a pinch runner. She's been a great bat this year for Lynchburg, hitting .368. That would be second on the team if she met the qualifying at-bat. She's at 19 this season with 7 base knocks. This one laced right down the middle, and AG scampers over to first.
Great swing, great at-bat by Anna Grace Terrell. Just all around good job from the designated player.
And this time around, we will see a pinch runner, as Alex Love will take her spot over on first. Good call by you.
Alex Love, a fast runner on the squad, especially with no outs. Might be able to see her take off for second.
Now batting for Lynchburg, number 15.
This just popped into my brain because AG wears 21. There was a guy playing for lacrosse, I believe, last week that had the last name Savage. And how do you not pick the number 21?
21 Savage, yeah. No, I agree with you. There's no other number you can pick with that last name.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Just worth mentioning. 1-0 count, Love on first here for Monahan. Freshman watches it outside. And it is so interesting to see this Lynchburg team that brings back practically all your starters, and then you add in this loaded freshman class with, we see Love on first, we see Monahan right now in the batter's box. We've also seen girls like Bree Orange have a great start to this season, and then obviously the transfer as well in Charlton. This is a Lynchburg team that has a whole lot of experience, and Ethan, it feels like when you have that great mix of veteran leadership and young talent, you can really make the perfect cocktail.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And with the 5th years that this squad has on deck, especially with Emily Charlton being a 5th year and Kaylee Dorses being a senior, and you have that young Kate Charlton, that one's fouled back, it just allows the experience that they have in their 4 and 5 years of pitching to rub off onto Kate Charlton, and so that just makes her even more experienced when she becomes one of the top pitchers in this, hopefully, conference, but for this Hornets squad.
5 fifth years on the squad this season for the Hornets is Monahan with a grounder over to first. Bobbled by Williams momentarily. Or pardon me, once again, Shiloh Gray has now taken the spot of Williams at first, staying in the contest after she pinch hit. So that's Shiloh Gray with unassisted out. Love advances to second, and Bree Orange, one of those fifth years, taking the spot of another fifth year. Or no, pardon me, Bree Hodges taking the spot of Lexi Powell, fifth year for fifth year. But that is wild to see 5 fifth years on a team, all choosing to come back.
I believe it's for Layla Leetson, actually.
You're right. I'm all over the place, my man. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without Ethan Morotsky. Bree Hodges takes the dish. One of 5 fifth years for the Lynchburg Hornets on the field. 2 fifth years in the press box on the call with you. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, man, that's you and me.
0-1-1 down, runner in scoring position for Hodges. Just outside, a beautiful pitch from Whelan. Hodges hitting 105 this year. She's notched 2 hits in her 19 at-bats. 0-2. Hodges with a hard hit ball out to center field, and this one's going to bring Love in home. Slides in safely, and a big-time celebration from Hodges.
Beautiful swing, a good 0-2 protect swing, but she laced that one into left center field, and an RBI double now.
That's her first ribby of the 2025 campaign. Leetson will check back in and take her spot over at second. I mean, we know that Hodges is more than capable of hitting it well. Last year hit 271, the year prior 273. And her freshman year hit 254 with 33 ribbies.
She led the team in RBIs that year.
Yeah. Powell pops it up down the right side, and a catch made by Singletary. Leetson will tag up and advance to third. Two outs on the board for Sarah Watts, who's 1 for 2 in game 2. Hornets have already added 1 to their total here in the bottom of the 4th, with another one 60 feet away. First offering down low, taken for a ball. And what's so interesting, we go back to that Bree Hodge double. As someone that is phenomenal at making contact with 74 hits during her collegiate tenure, that's just her 10th double.
A lot of crazy things going on in the softball field.
Yeah. 2-0. This one punched down the left side. Shelton has a beat and brings it in for the final out of the 4th. One runner stranded in scoring position with Leetson on third. Nevertheless, Lynchburg brings another one across to take a 4-1 lead as we head to the top of the 5th. Top of the 5th inning here at Moon Field. Hornets up by 3 runs in a 4-1 affair. During the break, Ethan and I checked our phones a little bit. What really stood out was Stacy Taliumptua let us know that Alyssa is left-handed and couldn't find a lefty glove when she started playing t-ball, so she had to adapt. Talk about survival of the fittest.
Overcoming adversity, that's the definition right there.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that.
What a story.
I like to think what would have happened if something like that would happen to me growing up. I'd be, what's the word when you can use left hands?
Ambidextrous?
Ambidextrous. Not amphibious. That's a whole other different kind of conversation. I realized, what about that? I mean, that's something we got to pick her brain about more as the season continues to roll on. 7, 8, 9 in the Quaker batting order as Kaylee Mitchell leads things off. This one tipped back foul to tie up the count at 1-1. A change in this circle for the Hornets as well as they go from Kate to Emily Charlton. Great day for Kate in this circle. Now we see what the older sister can do. 1-for-1 waved by. Also, we got a text from Alex DiNardo saying she needs to test my hand-eye coordination on foul balls. Thought I came off a little too cocky.
I'd like to be there for that.
Of course. 1-2, got him swinging, strike 3. Charlton spelled with a C, but this time around you can use a capital K.
Stepping up to bat, number 27, Brooke Going.
You like that one?
I did like that. Both the younger sister and the older sister doing a great job today.
Oh, with a Kate, you can just do the K and Kate. I don't know where you would put the K in Emily.
I don't know, you'd have to maybe, I don't know, actually. I was going to say maybe switch the C and the K out, but then it wouldn't be Charlton, it would be Carlton.
I really got your gears going
Yeah,
right now.
you did.
High fly ball, shallow left field, and Taliumptua brings it in with the left-handed glove. I guess it's a righty glove. How would you classify it?
No, that's a righty glove.
Cool. Thank
you. If she's throwing with her right hand, it's a righty glove.
Now batting number 32, Corey McCutcheon.
2 up, 2 down for Emily Charlton here in this circle. Brings up McCutcheon. Pounds the zone on the first offering for an 0-1 count. McCutcheon coming into this contest hitting .244 on the season. Thought about that one, pulled it back for a 1-1 count. McCutcheon sends it out to center field. And Kaylee Hackett right there for 3 up, 3 down. What a start for Emily in the circle. We move to the home half of the 5th. Lynchburg up 4-1. Alyssa Taliumptua to tee things off for the Hornets in the home half of the 5th inning. Lynchburg going 3-4-5 in the heart of their order. This one pounded out to right center field, down on the gravel. Taliumptua headed for second, slides in safely. It's a leadoff double for Taliumptua on the Hornets.
Beautiful swing from the three-hitter in this matchup. Her first hit of the ball game. Just another double for Taliumptua. It seems like every time she's at the plate and gets a hit, it's a double into the gap.
And we'll have a pinch runner for her over at second as Caitlin Reagan, the sophomore outfielder out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, checks in. I always think it's so interesting that Wake Forest University is not
In Wake
Forest. A little bit of ACC trivia for you there.
Yeah, that's something that's interesting. But, I mean, Wake Forest, they're a great school in every sport. So, Kaylee Hackett steps up to the plate, and we have a ground ball into left field. Base hit. It's going to be fumbled into left field. Reagan going to stay at third. Hackett at first base. And with that, we'll talk about Kaylee Hackett after a great single on the first pitch. We got Kelsey Hackett in the stands, UVA softball player, younger sister for Kaylee Hackett. She's doing a great job. She's played 3 seasons, well, 2 seasons including this one, so this is her 3rd season. She's had 93 games played in her career, so that link up between the sisters, it's got to help something out, and maybe with Kelsey being in the stands today, got Kaylee Hackett that single.
And UVA softball's had a great start to their campaign, 26-10 on the season thus far. Currently in the mix in the upper echelon of the ACC. Obviously, Wake Forest is always going to be the team to beat there. Also, Virginia Tech. I mean, that softball program has really found its groove in the last couple of years in a conference that really feels like Clemson has really been one of the premier teams that you always see in the top 25 in Division I softball. As we're going to see a change in the circle right now for the Quakers. They will turn it to Dylan Northern, the junior right-handed pitcher out of Kernsville, North Carolina. Northern this season has had 29.2 innings of work. She's given up 44 hits, 29 runs, only 17 of those being earned, which really goes back to us talking about the errors. 56 on the season for Guilford, second most in the ODAC. They trail the leader by 3, ahead of third by 19. She's done a quality job this season. Nevertheless, she's held batters to an average of 333.
It's tough being able to win games when you're struggling in that error column.
2 today in game 2. We also saw a pair in the first game as Hackett takes off for second. That double steal can really put you in a pickle. If you make that throw all the way to second, Reagan can get on her horse and trot on over to home. Pardon me. No outs on the board, an 0-1 count. 2 runners in scoring position with Reagan on third and Hackett on second. Popped up, shallow right field. Singletary brings it in, and Reagan doesn't get the engine going. No need to force it with just 1 out up. You just need Huddy to get it out of the infield.
Second and third. These runners are going to be moving if they find anything. If Hudnall finds anything in the outfield grass.
First offering from Northern finds the outer portion of the zone for an 0-1 count. Huddy with an RBI single in her first at-bat and flew out. I shouldn't say flew out, lined out to the shortstop on a snow cone grab made by Stoner. That was the real one web gem we've had this afternoon. 0-2 count for Huddy. Just outside. A good screwball right there from Northern.
Really trying to paint that outside corner. She's done a great job so far this at bat.
The right-hander deals. Tipped foul. You start to see the break on that ball. I mean, halfway to home plate, that looked like it was going to go right down Main Street, but a whole lot of rotation sends that one outside. 1-2. This one's in the dirt. Reagan headed for home. She'll slide in safely. Everybody moves station to station, and another one comes across for Lynchburg. They now lead 5-1 after the passed ball. Two, 1 down. They've got a chance to bring in both runners that were on second and third now. A chopper. The throw to first, well behind, a hesitation from Stoner at short. Couldn't decide whether to send it to the catcher in Mitchell or to first base with Gray.
With the speed that Hudnall has on display, any hesitation really at any point is always going to see her on first base.
Now Love with a hard hit ball out to right field. That's reeled in by Singletary.
A good swing, good aggressiveness from Alex Love. Just couldn't find a single really good play, being able to get that second out of the inning.
Now batting for Lynchburg, number
Well, that's a good piece of hitting from a freshman. And we move freshman to freshman with Monahan, who we've been talking a whole lot about her bat here today. It's a chopper over to Stoner. No hesitation this time with a quick 6-4 flip to retire the frame. Lynchburg up 6-1 after bringing 2 across here in the home half of the 5th inning. We'll be right back. Top of the 6th coming up. Top of the 6th inning here on Moon Field. A whole lot of substitutions during the break. In place of Olivia Shelton at the top of the order, we have Bullock. Kia Bullock, another freshman for this Quakers squad. The second baseman and outfielder out of Peelater, North Carolina. Charlton can't find the zone on her third pitch for a 1-2 count. Changes in the outfield as well. Reagan moves over to left, and Walter checks in at center. 1-2. Reagan gets a shot at it and brings it in. Early action for Caitlin Reagan.
It's a good way to get yourself implemented into this defense in your first at-bat in left field.
That one gets all the jitters out. You bring the first one in, they all seem easy.
Yeah, the butterflies disappear after that.
You're just playing ball.
Yep. Just throwing and catching. If only it were that easy.
We're now joined by superstar Josh Smith walking into the press box. If you check out the Lynchburg social media, I mean, this guy's on a generational run as of late. Think Miami Heat LeBron James. That's what this guy brings to the table. 0-1. Down low to tie up the count at 1-1.
What about Milwaukee Bucks Giannis Antetokounmpo?
One out on the board for Riley Murish. Nobody on. Charlton up high, taking at his shoulders for a 2-1 count. Murish into the back net. Whole lot of freshman production on this squad for Guilford this season. Murish, one of multiple. Another highly touted product coming out of high school. 3-time varsity letters. This one tipped, just barely got a piece of it to stay alive. Was 2-time second team all-district coming out of Born Samuel V. Champion High School. Coming all the way from Texas. Two, can't locate, count goes full. We talked about Illinois earlier. Have you ever been to Texas either?
No, I actually have never been to Texas. I wish I wish I would go to Texas. I know they got a lot of great ball stadiums down there.
Payoff pitch waved by for strike 3. Second one of the afternoon from Charlton.
Beautiful pitch, great job. They had a good job going deep into the count and keeping that focus on a full count. Good pitch from Charlton.
I like Texas. I'm a big fan. I almost went to school down there.
You like the warm weather?
I do, but I think it can get a little sticky in the summer.
Yeah, a little dry.
But that's the great part if you want to go to school there. You avoid the worst part of it. Versus when you're going to a school like Michigan or something, you just get the worst.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. As I've said multiple times on broadcasts, I'm a hot weather kind of guy.
I've seen you in the tank tops. You're all about it. 0-2, 2 down. Charlton unloads. An awkward and unconventional check swing right there from Whelan, but just stays alive to see another pitch.
Throw the ball to the side.
While we're talking about Texas, apparently the Charlton dad is the main chef for this Lynchburg team as they're eating between double headers.
Oh, absolutely he is.
And apparently he makes a mean brisket.
Oh, yeah, he does. It's the best.
You ever get the luxury of trying the Charlton family brisket?
I've got some Charlton family brisket actually in my freezer from the last time he cooked brisket. I had the luck of being able to take some home. You know, perks of being friends with a lot of the softball players. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it lives up to the hype. It's better than the hype.
Giving Texas a run for their money. Best brisket on this side of the Mississippi coming from the Charlton family. 2-2, Deuce is wild. Here for Abby Whelan. 0 for 2 on the afternoon with a fly out to Watson, short and a 5-3 ground out in her last plate appearance in the fourth. The left-hander deals. Shot out to right field. Powell going back, watches it bounce. Here comes the relay. It's a stand-up double. Abby Whelan, her first base knock of the afternoon, and the fourth extra base hit for the Quakers in Game 2.
Beautiful swing, a two-strike approach that you always dream for. Just poking that one. I say poking, just driving that one right over Lexi Powell. Beautiful swing.
Now batting for Guilford, number 19, Casey Johnson.
That brings up the junior out of Winterville, North Carolina, Casey Johnson. He's also a member of the Guilford volleyball team. She's had a great campaign for the Quakers during her collegiate tenure. Hit .304 a season ago, and she tips this one into the back net. And then for the softball squad, a right side hitter standing at 6'1". Tabbed 235 kills this year. That's a whole lot.
Impressive numbers. Multi-sport athletes are hard to come by. And are always a pleasure to be able to watch, no matter what sport they're playing.
She was third on the team for kills per set. But right this time, it's Charlton with a K. Her second strikeout swinging of the frame, her third on the afternoon. And we head to the home half of the sixth on LHSN. And we welcome you back into the booth here on Moon Field. Joe Brennan alongside Ethan Morotsky. Some more substitutions during the intermission. Singletary out at right. Johnson takes her place. Buckner in for Murish over at third. And Georgia Thompson in to pinch hit at the bottom of the order. Thompson, 1-0, popped up down the right side and falls out of play. More successful second game for the Quakers batting-wise. They've tapped 5 base knocks, 4 of which have gone for doubles, but they've struggled to really string them together. They've all come isolated except for back in the second inning where they were sandwiched together to bring in their sole run of the afternoon. Meanwhile, Lynchburg bats have been scorching hot today. 10 hits here in game 2, 6 runs to show for it. Also 2 errors from the Guilford defense. Thompson gets a whole lot of air on the 2-1.
Beautiful pitch, beautiful job being able to pull the string and catch Georgia Thompson out on her front foot and early on that pitch.
2-2, the right-hander deals. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. The 2-2 for Thompson. Caught looking, strike three. A beautiful pitch from Northern. Her first strikeout today.
Really good job painting that inside corner.
That takes us back to the top of the order with Lexi Powell. Flew out to second back in the fourth frame. Before that, had a single in the first and a double in the second. Continuing her strong performance this afternoon after going 1 for 1 in the first game with 3 walks. 1-0 outside. Over the back net. Actually bounced back. Nice heads up play. I think that's always trickier than it looks.
No, I completely agree with you.
It doesn't do anything, but it's fun to watch.
It's always nice to see if they make that play or not.
2-1. Powell takes outside. Third ball of the count. Somewhat of a chilly day here at the ballpark. Got a couple of blankets in the stands. Sleeping bag. Everybody bundled up trying to stay warm. Certainly won't have that issue the next couple of days. Lexi Powell with a powerful swing. That drops in for another single.
Another 2-strike hit for these teams. I feel like every single at-bat has gone deep in the count. And a great job by Lexi Powell to inside out that pitch up the middle.
Takes us to Sarah Watts. We are having a little bit of a discussion with our home plate umpire and Dawn Simmons. I think this is going to be a pinch runner. Yes, it will. Zoe Elliott will take this spot over at first. One down for Sarah Watts with a runner on first. Outfield starting to back up a little bit. I don't blame them. First offering outside. And it's especially on the left and right field. Center field has mainly stayed stationary. But some movement from left and right. Slow roller, 6-4. Say it again, please, for me.
1 is a must, 2 is a plus, Joe.
They retire the lead runner on a 6-4.
Now batting for the Hornets, number 13.
And Caitlin Reagan checks back in the left side of the batter's box with the 2000s anthem as her walk-up song. Can you, Dougie?
No, I can't, and I'm okay with that.
We can work on that.
We'll work on it in the office.
Maybe Caitlin can teach you. I mean, you gotta know how to Dougie if that's your walk-up. 1-0, check swing. They'll say she went. One. Reagan holds off. Watts heads for second. Another stolen base this year for Sarah Watts. I think that 7 for 8 on the year. Now in scoring position. Infield playing in. 1-2 outside. A nice frame job from Mitchell, but couldn't get the call. Deuce is wild. The right-hander deals. Sent foul down the left side.
It's another deep count from this Hornet lineup. Caitlin Reagan doing a good job staying alive.
And this is where they've made their money, whether it be with 2 outs, 2 strikes. 2's been their lucky number today.
Deuce is wild.
This offering sent foul once again as the slapper sends it to the Lynchburg dugout. Two-two. A check swing. Stoner at first. Can't make the throw in time. Watts advances to third off the single from Reagan.
This is exactly what you said. They're getting their money worth out of these long at-bats. Another deep count. And Caitlin Reagan just being able to poke this one into the ground and with her speed, making it to first base for a single, and now runners on the corners for Walter.
Just her second hit of the season. As Walter waves by the first offering. Before that, Reagan had 1 hit in her 8 at-bats. And we know her mainly as a pinch runner, 4 for 4 on stolen bags with 3 runs this year. Now you got runners on the corners. Don't be shocked if we see that runner in Reagan take off for second. Thought about it right there. I think she's on her horse after this pitch.
Yeah, we'll see her take a hard secondary every time, but I agree with you.
1-1, I was wrong, outside. I love going for that double steal. And I've yet to see him shoot the runner at third and try and scratch one across. 2-1 for the 5th year in Walter. Pounds the outer portion of the zone, and once again, it's a 2-2 count. Walter searching for her first hit of the season. This one sent foul. She's had 10 at-bats this year. Only 2 games with more than 1 at-bat. 2-2. Inside. Got him looking, strike 3. Northern with a backwards K to end the 6th inning. And we head to the final frame with the Quakers in need of 5 runs to keep us going. 3 outs left for the Quakers to try and keep this one going. They trail by 5.
Now batting number 33, Charlotte
Alex
Gray.
Love now out in right field. Charlton still in the circle for the Hornets. A slow roller down the left side, and it gets through for a leadoff single.
Good aggressiveness from the Quakers here. You're down by 5 with 3 outs, and it doesn't matter for this lineup as they're going right at Emily Charlton.
I mean, that was just beautiful location right there from Gray. Split the difference between Monahan and Watts on the left side of the infield. That's the 20th hit this year for Gray, 2 of which have come in this contest. Had a double when she first checked in back in the 4th. Chloe Stoner now comes in.
Now batting number 11, Chloe Stoner.
For Guilford, you'd really just love to get this down to Brooke going. As long as you avoid the double play, she'll get up here, but still you'd like to get an extra runner or 2 on base for her. She's been the best hitter on this Quaker squad this season, hitting .392. She's been kept relatively quiet this afternoon, however. 0 for 2 in this ball game. Oh, 0-2 count for Stoner. Waved by Charlton with another K, her 4th. And she checked in the 5th. Looks like we're going to get a change in the circle. Logan Curtis. She'll look to close this one in the final 2 outs. We'll let her get loose and step aside momentarily. Stick with us on LHSN. Curtis steps into the circle for Lynchburg. Runner takes off. The tag, not in time. A great toss and catch, but excellent wheels. I want to say that's a pinch runner, but I cannot read digits with a hoodie on. That is a tough task for me to do.
I don't really see that too often. Kind of reminds you of back in the day in the MLB when the pitchers used to wear jackets on the base paths.
I got an assist from our statistician extraordinaire. It is Alyssa Daniel over at second now after the successful steal. Two-0 count. Make it a 3-0 count. That is Daniel's 9th stolen base this year. An unblemished 9 for 9. That ties her as the team leader. 3-0. Outside, but finds the bottom corner of the zone for the first strike of the count. Kaylee Mitchell, 0 for 1 on the day. This time around, it's a 5-pitch walk. Now you got runners on first and second, and your best batter up here for Guilford.
For Logan Curtis on the mound with a 5-pitch walk, the majority of what is going on, it's got to go. You got to be confident in your stuff. You know that you were chosen to close this game out for a reason.
Goings is third on the team for on-base percentage. Their leader for batting average. Doesn't send a whole lot for extra bases. Only 4 for extras this year in her 20 hits. 3 doubles, 1 triple. And oftentimes when you see someone leading the team in hits and batting average, you'd assume that that's their RBI leader. She's not anywhere near the top with only 6. A lot of times that'll be your leadoff hitter, but I mean, we've seen her today batting at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. A little odd that with all those hits and extra base hits, not a ton of RBI. She's up there in the runs category, but no, I completely agree with you.
She's someone that's seen a drastic improvement from her freshman to sophomore campaign. Last year only made 6 appearances for the Quakers, had 6 at-bats and 1 hit. 2-0, tipped into the back net. Logan Curtis this season, just 8 innings of work. He's given up 7 hits. But the walks stand out at you a little bit. 5 walks this year through those 8 innings. Make it 6. The bags are juiced. Takes us to the bottom of the order. McCutcheon steps into the batter's box, but a timeout called first by Dawn Simmons and company. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about, Reagan. You just want to get that first, and then you start to feel those butterflies go away.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's exactly what Coach Dawn Simmons is talking to Logan Curtis about in the circle. It's just calming down the jitters and getting your confidence back up and staying comfortable in that circle.
Last time we saw Curtis was that Salisbury game where things got a little bit out of hand towards the end. Ended in an 11-0 ball game. Curtis threw 1 inning, gave up 3 hits and 4 runs along with 1 walk. First pitch from Curtis on the way. Just a tad over the zone for a 1-0 count. This is the first time in a while we've seen every arm for the Hornets. (2-0). Curtis is senior out of Virginia Beach. Sported a 2.47 ERA a season ago. This one's right down the pipe. She's also a big-time surfer. You ever try that?
No, I feel like my balance is not good enough to go surfing. I mean, it's the same thing with like roller skating and ice skating. I can't do it because my balance is just terrible.
Beautiful pitch to tie up the count at 2-2. Yeah, you seem more like a boogie board kind of guy. The right-hander deals, popped up foul, and will run out of play. I mean, being from Virginia Beach, I feel like it's probably a little bit more common than it would be here in the Hill City. Nobody's surfing down the James.
That'd be pretty cool to watch.
Wait till I do it. I'll try it out.
Joe Brennan will be the first to ever do it.
2-2. Outside, and the count goes full. This will be a big-time pitch. A ball outside would cut into this Lynchburg deficit, or this Quaker deficit, rather. Payoff pitch, waved by. The third strikeout of the year for Curtis comes with a bases loaded.
And that's the confidence that you need. Getting it back in that strikeout, maybe it'll be the same situation, getting those jitters out after that first.
Now she's found it. I understand it now. Logan Curtis. That brings up Bullock. Stepped in as the new woman at the top of the order, back in his 6th inning. Flew out to left. It was over to Caitlin Reagan. Now finds herself down in the count 0-2. I mean, it's wild to see the confidence that shifts right after that strikeout. 0-2. Down low.
I completely agree with you. The flip of a switch just like that. Logan Curtis goes from walking 2 batters to being in the driver's seat.
5 strikeouts from the Hornets today. 3 different pitchers have tabbed at least 1. Five strikeouts in game 2, I should say. Had a whole lot today combined between both games. 1-2. Curtis once again trying to draw that swing down low. 2-2, 2 away, bases loaded. Back against the wall here for the Quakers. Curtis. A slow roller over to third. Monahan with a tag down to send the Quakers home. Lynchburg with a sweep over Guilford on Moonfield.
Beautiful job from Logan Curtis to be able to come back after walking a couple batters and finishing out the game with no runs scored. So props to Logan Curtis in the circle.
Back-to-back wins puts Lynchburg at 13-9 overall, 4-4 in conference play, 9-5 on Moonfield, winning their last 4 contests here at home. And what's wild is the only games they've dropped here at home was one in a heartbreaker against Greensboro in that doubleheader where they dominated the first game and just couldn't put it together in the second game. And those other 4 losses come to top 15 teams in Salisbury and Virginia Wesleyan. So we look down at Lynchburg. Next set of games, you've got Averett on the road this Saturday. Then next week, Randolph at home and Sweetbriar on the road. All 6 of those games feel very winnable for Lynchburg, as now you get into a part of your schedule that is a little bit more forgiving than when you have Salisbury and Virginia Wesleyan. This is a Lynchburg team that can start to do some damage.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think one of the main things they need to take out of this doubleheader is that this is a great hitting team when they're confident in the batter's box, and their pitching is going to do well enough to help them in this matchup. But going up into these next couple weeks where you're facing opponents that you have a good chance of doing well against, you got to be able to keep that confidence. You can't settle down. You can't settle for anything. You got to go out and take it for yourself.
The Quakers with a little bit of a home stint, 2 doubleheaders at home, one on Saturday against Sweetbriar, then Ferrum on Tuesday next week, and then next Saturday they start their 3-game doubleheader road stint with EMU, followed by Shenandoah and Randolph. So they'll be back here in the Hill City in a couple of weeks. Nevertheless, Lynchburg with a big-time win is sweeping today's doubleheader. We appreciate you spending your Wednesday afternoon with us on LHSN. A big thank you to our cameramen in Kevin Nestor and Brian Flowers, and our director in Sam Scarlett. I've been Joe Brennan with Ethan Moratsky. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a good one.